everybody? Can I have a mic check in the chat? Mic check in the chat, please, and thank you. All right, let me suggest my keys somewhere. So Jessica, your keys are on your black backpack. Don't forget. Hi, everybody. What's up? What's going on? Pull up chat right here. Mic check in the chat. Can't see how many people are here, but it looks like it's double digits. Okay, mic check in the chat, please, and thank you. There we are. Okay, 6 people on YouTube. Double digits over there, so that's good. All righty. On Wi-Fi. My sound isn't great. Sounds good. Intelligent eating says sound isn't great. Okay, so intelligent eating, we are in a, how tall do you say these things are? 24 feet maybe? Okay, so we're in 35-foot ceilings, so the sound's not going to be crispy like my normal studio. Bit muffled. I didn't mean to roll my eyes, I'm sorry. But this is, as long as it's not crunchy or crispy or going like that, we're good. Does that sound good? Mic check in the chat. What's going on, Howard Werner? What's going on, intelligent eating, soul chat? I'll bring on the knowledge. Yeah, bring on the knowledge. What's up, Krishna? We're bringing it. What's up, non-fan? Roll with it. It's okay. Thanks, intelligent eating, for that permission. Okay, let's I need a little increase. Okay, so I'm gonna just let you know in advance. I'm here back with Rex. We were outside earlier, and my Android phone, which is what we're on right now, it overheated. Normally, it's my iPhone that overheats, but
when it's 106 degrees.
Yeah, got the new phone. Christian, great question. No, you don't have the new iPhone yet. I bought the wrong tempered glass screen, so it's coming soon. But anywho, okay, so not in Texas. James McGill, oh my gosh, hello. Hi, James. Yes. Yeah, I love it when people pop on. I haven't seen it in a while. Let's see who else. I should do it over here. Okay, so we're back, and we are coming in hot with some knowledge. Right, Rex?
Yeah.
And we're going to be discussing, let's see, come on, chat. Going to Iceland the weekend. Oh, cool, have fun. AZ cooled off to 108 degrees Fahrenheit, said James. He's like a back-end developer. He did all the stuff for a startup that I worked for in tech. Yeah, so he's like super, you know.
Yeah.
Okay, so are we in frame? Audio is good. I actually should listen to it really quick. Oh, I hear what you mean. Please, yeah, I'm gonna get you on audio. So these are your colored pencils. Tell me about these.
Well, I kick it old school.
Okay. What's up?
I'm a visual person.
Oh, my feet stink. I'm sorry.
I'm sure it's good.
Maybe not. Maybe it's. I hear. Okay, I get it. Yeah. Oof. It's fine. What's up, Omato? I see you there. What's up, June Castro? Hello. Hello. Okay, so we're gonna get started here. Well, we can hear you. Don't worry. Thanks, Krishna. Okay, so let's talk about solar.
Yeah.
Battery build.
Let's do it.
Let's do it. Okay. I don't know. Yeah. Okay. So let me just present what you have drawn for me already.
I mean, it's so.
Just stop. Stop. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Let me present it over there. Let me just get my back in my shoes. beep. Oh gosh, that's bad. All right. Can you see it on the iPhone if it actually can see or not? I know it's not great.
Yeah, it's probably not quite as crispy as it might need to be.
That's fine. At least they see that there's a diagram there. Okay, so Rex drew this for me last night. And right in the frame. Did you see that corner? Oh yeah. Like that. And then let me up this and see what we've got going. This is, oh, hello. Should just leave it, huh? Shining.
That's good enough.
All right. Okay, so let's talk about. Do you mind moving that ring light so it faces us? Yeah. Right there. Perfect. Cool. Thank you. So right now we have nice diagrams, says Omado. In simple terms, what else do you need to now that you have the batteries besides the panels?
Sure.
That's a great statement,
Yeah.
right?
So, you kind of want the whole system to revolve around your battery because your battery will be the determining factor on how much solar it can take in the first place, and how much power output you can get out of batteries, and the determining factor on what kind of inverter you're going to be using or how much output your inverter will be able to output. If you have a battery that can put out 1,000 watts and you have a 3,500 watt inverter, you're not going to be able to use the whole inverter. So there's no point in spending that much money. So basically, what goes on, what needs to go in between the battery? Let's just say, this battery is just 8 cells.
And that's what it actually is.
That's what it actually is.
So 8 cells mean, because I didn't know that this is one battery.
It's one cell.
Okay, so this is one cell.
That's 1/8 of the battery that you're going to be doing.
Whoa, okay. This is heavy. How much does this weigh, you think?
It's about
30
half.
pounds?
Yeah, it's about half of lead acid. This is probably, it's about 10, 12.
No.
No, it's not that heavy. Not that heavy. 30 pounds.
Look at my gun.
You might be struggling to put over your head.
Okay. 10.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh man, I'm sweating.
Yeah. So 10, 12 pounds, something like that.
10.
And
so it's 1/8 of a. I feel like we should put it this way.
well,
Okay,
there's
so
8 of these in a row. You can't see the other few, but they're all in a line.
should we move it like that?
Yeah.
Let's see.
I think the idea is pretty easy to understand. There's 8.
I'm a visual person. That's what I say.
Yeah.
Is that LiFe iron, right? Is it lithium iron phosphate or lithium ion phosphate?
Lithium iron phosphate.
Okay, so that's the first thing to mention.
Yeah, that's
Can
the
you explain
important.
the difference between
Well, it's a chemistry difference. So this
battery
is
cell chemistry?
battery cell chemistry. So what's actually inside of this casing mostly is comprised of, it's lithium iron
The percentage is
phosphate.
69%. Elon Musk could be really, really laughing at. Anyways.
So yeah, I mean the main thing is the chemistry, and lithium iron phosphate chemistry, while not quite as dense or able to put out quite as much power as some of the typical chemistries that you see like in a Tesla car or something like that, it has amazing cycle life.
Okay, so all right, 2 things.
Yeah.
One, Omado came in with 10 pounds is 4.5 kilograms, so that's good, a great conversion for the international audience. Thank you very much, okay, so when you say it's not as dense,
It's not as dense.
what does that mean?
Sure. So the density is like how much capacity fits in a given space. So if this is a 1,200 watt hour cell, then the capacity is, maybe 60 or 70% of what a standard lithium ion cell, like what you would find in a Tesla, is.
Okay, pause.
Yeah.
So we're comparing the lithium iron phosphate Is a lithium ion cell have phosphate in it?
That's a great question, and I don't have a specific answer for that because there's a lot of chemistries, and a lot of chemistries have a lot of different. Elements.
Okay. So, all right. So that's our first thing. Let's point that out. There's a lot of different battery chemistries. I'm just trying to.
A lot of lithium chemistry.
Sure. A lot of lithium chemistries. Okay. So then, real quick, I heard discussion of lithium high nickel content. So in like the nickel mining that Tesla might be doing or something over in what's the highest? Is it Malaysia? No, Indonesia or something. Wherever they are. So what would be the most efficient chemistries? Let's get into it. So,
yeah, are you talking about child labor?
No, no, I'm not. That's not. That was a joke, everybody. That's not. We don't agree with that on this channel. Okay. So efficiency meaning the best. Okay, maybe I should stop there because I'm already. Okay, so these cells that we have right here, there's 8 different cells. 8 cells, so it's 1/8 of a battery pack.
So, in the case of what you're in, so you could replace lead acid battery using 4 of these connected series. So each of these is 3.2 cell, and you connect the negative positive back cell, and then that negative positive cell. And every cell has I can't follow.
Can anybody in the chat follow? It's great out there. I just want everyone to be able to see the full magnitude of this. So that I just need that. It'll fit. You think all these will fit? All right, everybody. If anybody has questions, please put them in the chat. Oh, wow, look at that. It's totally worked. Okay, now it's better. Now it's getting harder to hear you. I was away from you. Okay, so we're sharing a mic because long story. So thank you very much for letting us know. All right, so these are the 8 cells. These were generously donated by somebody that we mentioned earlier, not the name, right, of a person who comes on screen, but also has been on screen before. But Rex is a Aptera ambassador. Is anybody familiar with Aptera, the company Aptera, the solar electric car? Let me know in the chat if you've heard of Aptera. Let me know in the chat if you have a reservation on an Aptera. You would be wise to. You give a quick little spiel as to why it would be wise. Yeah, no, you're totally right. Should we get back to that? Let's get back to that. Look at that. Bring it back. Raining again. Yes. Okay. Owen said much better now. We can see that. There we go. Okay. So we're going to build. So tell me what the difference between a 12 volt and a 24 pack battery pack is. Sure. And why you're going to help me design a 24 volt.
So typical is going to be 12. So if you have a system, you could just replace your 12 system with batteries with lithium iron phosphate. Instead of running all of that in series to make it really, you run 4 in series and 4 in series. Link those together in parallel, so you have
this up. Sorry, I need a visual break. Thank you.
It's a US 2P.
Okay.
2P to parallel.
Who's learning? Anybody learning it? Okay. Oh yeah, visual so helpful. Okay.
Sounds together.
Can we show it to them?
Sure.
He's brought his colored pencil so he can show positives and negatives in different kinds of colors. Hi Anthony, welcome to the stream. Welcome in. Welcome Thaddeus. And anybody else that's just arrived, let me know where you're coming in from, what time is it where you are, and what's the temperature. Right now in Phoenix, it's Tuesday, June 26th, 2021. 7:05 p.m. for the 6 weeks, 20 minus 7, 17, $1,700, 1706. If I'm wrong, let me know in the chat. Current temperature is hot, hot AF. It's hot AF. Is crazy, cool, 99 degrees Fahrenheit. If somebody can do that conversion, 99 degrees Fahrenheit to Celsius for me, that would be fabulous. Okay. Okay, so we're talking about, so we're going to replace the 12-volt lead acid battery that is supposed to come anyways.
She told me that.
Okay. Okay, so positive and negative wiring of this, where does that positive and negative wiring go to?
You basically just take your positive and negative and well, you need a battery management system.
Okay.
Let's say I'll and it's doesn't do a good job. Output by itself. Too much power, charge them too rapidly.
Okay. So there would be fire. So I need, what do I need to prevent fire?
This is the safest thing in the industry by far. Very, very safe.
As long as it's transported from Phoenix, which is somebody asked if I'm in Texas, question mark? Not yet, still in Phoenix. Soon, hopefully. Still finishing up some stuff, but these will be transported just like any other battery cell. It's be transported very carefully so that it's not punctured or damaged or, yeah, because it could cause fire, it could cause injury, it could cause gaseous stuff. What is it? I know. It's gonna rain, everybody. It is a miracle. Look, 8 p.m., 80% chance of rain. Okay. Let's hope we have a free car wash and also I'm gonna go feel something. Love it.
So, like the lead acid battery, you don't want that. Sorry.
So that
will come out.
Oh. Love it. Love these curves that are coming in. Okay, so these, for example, if you suggested it, not suggested, you told me that they are best transferred coordinates. It might be a cool upright.
Yeah, and I see. If you want to put the trailers.
Yeah.
And I just have something like this.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, upright. So these particular batteries, their cells, if they were to be on their sides, what would come out of them?
I have no idea.
It just could damage them.
I'm less of not an expert in anything, less of an expert on phosphate. I jealous of you because
Just snotted on my nose.
two lithium iron phosphate cells. So this is really big.
Yeah, it's a really big deal.
Because this chemistry is different from 10,000 plus. So if you cycle it fully each day,
Does that mean go all the way down from 100% to 0%? That's one cycle. Okay. Great. Okay.
yeah.
So up to 10,000 cycles.
No.
Okay.
Should easily get to 10,000 cycles. So if you take 365 divided by 10,000,
That's 365 divided by 10,000. That's 0.00036.
it's about 100 years.
Okay.
You're not going to be cycling like that. So that's why I say, you know, lithium iron phosphate is probably the last battery I ever bought. In a situation where it's being used off grid, not in a car necessarily. You could use them in a car, like the Tesla Model 3 in China, standard basically has somewhere below 200-mile range, something like that.
Okay.
And they're using lithium iron phosphate.
Okay.
Those cars, those batteries are going to last for so long.
And this is actually the battery pack that powers the car, not just the 12-volt battery. Okay.
Full path. Yeah.
Okay. So
It's an awesome chemistry.
what did for example, a 2021, or let's use 2020 because we don't know exactly what's in the Model S 2021, although I think it's a 4680 battery cell structural packs on both sides, in my opinion, or it's going to be swapped out in the platinum editions. Regardless, what is
Eventually, I think that's it.
yeah? So what is the current chemistry of a 2020 or whatever, a Tesla Model 3?
I don't know what the current chemistry is. I know that it's a high nickel content. There's cobalt in it.
Oh, that's right. He was trying to get away from cobalt.
Trying to get away from mining. And Tesla has been doing a good job actually removing more and more cobalt every generation. They do more cobalt, which is awesome. It's a conflict mineral, and obviously conflict mineral. So
What's the conflict mineral? Is it fossil fuel or debatable, ethically debatable? Okay.
yeah,
Like you said earlier, the child labor laws and all that stuff.
it's real, and I mean, just like coffee, right? You can have coffee that is labeled, what do they call it? Fair trade. It can be labeled fair trade, and then you can watch a documentary where that same exact fair trade labeled coffee is being, beans are being hustled in by 7-year-olds to have a 40-pound bag strapped
Right.
around their head.
Okay.
You can't really trust it unless you go there with it.
Right.
So that's why it's a conflict.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay, so you showed me, what's this stand for again? 4S?
4 in series, 2 in parallel.
Okay, can I write that down? Or can you write? Yeah. Right there. 4 in series. Oh, 4 in series. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4.
Yeah, so they're connected one to the other.
Okay.
And then, so you have 2 of those bags in parallel.
Okay.
So those 2, the positives of each of those go into each other, and the negatives of each of those go into each other.
Oh. become one.
So
Okay.
now you have one battery. It's
Here we go.
lower voltage.
Okay. Krishnas, who's coming in from India, says 2021 Tesla Model 3 uses 2070 lithium ion cells and future Model 3. I get confused when people say M3 because that's BMW. We'll have 4680 lithium ion cells, but with zero cobalt content.
That's probably accurate, but it's not. It's a 21 set. It's probably
Okay.
accurate. Yeah.
Thank you, Krishna.
I would not be surprised if there's actually zero cobalt.
Oh, and Krishna says, so it's a 4S2P. Yes, it's a Eurasia. Ooh, yes.
And that would make it a 12-volt battery. So if you wanted to just run 12 volt, you can. If your wiring in your camper is set up for 12 volt, you may just do a 12 volt system.
Okay.
Instead of 20.
But 24 volt will provide more power, or
It's actually 24 volt will essentially mean that your wiring size can be smaller. But if your camper's already pre-wired with 12 volt everything, then we'll just go 12. If this was a system that you were building from scratch, then I would recommend higher the voltage go, better.
okay, so the better as in what is that?
Wiring size.
Wiring size, meaning less wires,
Like
the
the
thickness.
thickness of the wire.
Okay.
So if you have, let's say this puts out 100 amps, just for example,
Okay.
in a 12 volt configuration, just like right?
Yep.
If you had this built as a 24 volt configuration, you'd actually be only putting out 50 amps. But because it's at 24 volts, remember that the
Amps, but wait,
Yeah.
don't tell me I got it. Here we go, I found it right away. Look at that. Ooh.
So what is it? So you got 12 volts
Okay, 12 volts
times 100 amps.
times 100 amps is 1200 amps, or 1200 watts.
Yep.
So volts times amps equals watts. Everybody, volts times amps equals watts. And also, watts divided by volts equals amps. And then the less needed one is, this is all from him, this knowledge bank, is watts divided by amps equals volts.
I didn't come up with these equations.
Nobody.
Somebody much smarter than me. Long time ago.
But you relayed the knowledge to me. Okay, so that's 1200 or 12,000.
It's 1200
1200. Okay, 1200 watts.
watts.
Okay, so 1200 watts would mean that, like, for example, what? Okay, so now we're getting into like the kilowatt meter that's upstairs with all my stuff plugged into it, and it was reading the highest kilowatt hour.
Kilowatt hour, which
Okay.
is 1,000.
Okay, so 1 kilowatt hour is equal to 1,000 watt hours. Okay, a kilo is 1,000. Okay. Hold on, I gotta process this and adjust the thing. Processing. Right click, save as into that. Rex and Jessica talk about battery cells folder and save. Closing. Okay, now it's in the local cache. So I'll have that photographic memory. Okay, so Krishna says potential energy, which is, so that's a V, I can't make oh, so this guy says smart battery masterclass in progress on JKTV. Let's see, it says potential energy V times current. So V times I, what's I? Equals power.
Current, that'd be the amps.
Okay.
Volts times amps. Yeah, so it's the same equation, just written out a little bit differently.
Okay.
Power is watts. Watts is power. Watts is your
Bring in the man bun. Here we go. And here I thought man buns were just a legendary. You totally pull it up. Yeah. Yep. What's up, Woody I can't read it with my dry contacts.
It's a little fuzzy.
Is it?
It's fuzzy.
Okay, it's not just
It's not just you.
Okay. Okay, so yes. Cool. That's
So-
another way to say volts times amps equals watts
Right.
equation. Okay.
And yeah, watts is your power. You can get a conversion of horsepower. 1 horsepower is a little less than 750 watts.
That's interesting.
Yeah,
1
it's-
horsepower
there's a conversion for that.
is a little less than 750 watts.
Not much less. It's basically 700.
Did you all hear that? Anybody that has driven an internal combustion engine vehicle that's rated in horsepower?
Yeah. So if you know that a Tesla Plaid has
Oh, no.
1,000
Minimum should not be illegal. No, JS, that is not a welcome comment. We don't talk like that here. Any mods here? We don't talk like that. Okay,
those are the people we.
yeah, that's unnecessary. Okay, so anyways, continuing on.
So like if we know that the Tesla Model S Plaid has, and we know it's more than 1,000 horsepower, but to do a simple conversion, we say it's 1,000 horsepower.
Hector's on it, look. Thank you,
Then
Hector.
we just take 1,000 horsepower times 750, and we know how many watts, 750 kilowatts, is what the output of the Plaid is, 750 kilowatts, which is an insane number. It's a massive number. It's surprising that they have wiring fit into a car that puts out that power.
Okay, we're talking about the flag.
The Plaid,
Okay,
which is it's a little over 1,000 horsepower.
0 to 60 in 1.28 before you
1.9.
pass under the intersection traffic lights,
Yeah.
you're at 60 to 90 miles per hour.
Compared to the other side of the road.
Good.
Boggles the mind that it's possible.
Yeah. Anybody else mind blown?
It's wonderful. It's
Yeah.
it's an amazing feat. You want to really knock it out. And engineering.
And the team, right? I always have to correct myself
It's
too.
very important. He does not do it all by
No,
himself.
no.
Right. He has a massive team. That's what it takes.
Yeah, and any not young, any engineers out there, go work for Tesla, bring this technology, help bring it to fruition, right? Anyways, just a little side. Okay, so right now so let's circle back. So when I have my trailer, I'm going to install this as one battery pack. How am I going to mount it, or is there
Yeah. And that's the whole like next feature that we're gonna have to put together.
okay?
Is mounting. So basically, you can make a board for these to sit on, and
Made out of
wood.
wood.
Yeah.
They can sit on wood. Sure. It's not like a shrine.
No.
Okay.
No, you don't have to worry about that. I would use wood because wood is non-conductive. It's cheap. It's really easy to build with, and just needs the right type of wood. And very strong.
What type of wood would you recommend?
I would probably use pine, and I would make it out of 2x.
Interesting, pine. Okay, all right.
Yeah, it's cheap.
Yeah.
It's strong. I mean, you could use oak if you wanted to. If you really wanted to build.
Really strong.
Kind of, yeah.
Yeah. I know that pine. I like to overbuild things.
Yeah.
That's kind of what I do.
And pine is fine. You can use 2x construction,
Mhm.
and
Okay, so that will hold it all in place.
Yeah.
So in terms of if it's going to be stationary. The trailer's going to be stationary. If I ever need to tow it anywhere.
oh, it's going to need to be built so that these can't jump out.
Okay, like
Of
fall
the
out
trailer.
or okay, all right,
So that's all in consideration.
okay.
I'll help you along. Make sure that everything is smoothly. And it's
Okay, cool. All right. So
safety first.
Safety first.
With electricity, you never compromise on safety. As soon as you do that, you blow something up in your face and you realize. But electricity is
It's really
it's pixie power and it's very powerful.
Oh yeah, you call it pixie power. So I was explaining the one like I have to deal with most things, but the one thing I'm most afraid of is electricity. And you said it's magic pixies. You don't know where it comes from.
It's magic.
It's magic pixies. It's pixie power.
It's definitely still magic.
Yes.
Even though.
Right.
that we can use it to do what we're doing right now, for instance, this would be possible.
Right, and we're like this, yeah, the solar packs. It is magic.
You could think back 100 years and imagine what we're doing before. You couldn't.
Right.
It's not possible. You couldn't possibly think of it.
No, definitely not. No way.
Not even 50 years.
Right. Right.
I got a mobile device that's a hotspot.
Yeah, that's pretty mind blowing.
I mean, just that by itself.
That's pretty mind blowing. Okay. All right. So, anybody in the chat have any questions as of right now? I'm learning this all for the first time. Rex is in town for a couple of days, swung through. We brought these provided by this generous donor. And so yeah, I'm just walking through how the setup's gonna go. So it's drawn this diagram for me, for us, and did some pricing and all that stuff. So now I'm just trying to understand it. And if I can understand it to the point that I'm able to explain it back to you, I feel like that's the definition of knowledge in Jessica Kirsh's head. So yes. So that's the goal today. So if you have any clarification questions, please let us know. I've got the chat right in front of me. And okay, so continuing on. All right, so let's talk about, okay, so things I want to discuss. The solar charge controller, which is that the electric device. Okay, so let's
shout out to Dacia in Canada. Shout out to This is we're going to be talking about the Electrodacus SPMS 0 system.
You say it again, just a little bit closer to the mic.
Yeah, we're going to be talking about the Electrodacus SPMS 0 and solar battery system.
SPMS 0. So that's solar battery. Yes, that's good definition. Yeah, being able to teach it. Solar battery management system. Okay, and this is an open source product that's created by, is his name Dacus?
I think it's pronounced Dacian.
Okay. He's in Canada. He's one person.
And he is
one person.
He is probably he's the most knowledgeable person that I can think of on solar in general. And that includes batteries, wiring, voltage, components inside the battery management system. As he builds these things from scratch, he has the circuit boards cut out, and it's sent to he has a machine to it's a pick and place machine. Basically, what it does, it takes all the little diodes and
let me bring up a picture so they can know what we're talking about here. So electronics. Right now, there's a lead time because he built this himself. So there's a lead time of up to 6 weeks, maybe even more. I'm sure depending on backlog and shipping. Okay. Look at that. So we used 3 up to 8 lithium cells. Okay. So let me just show it a graphic here really quickly. Which one should I show?
That's the SPMS 0. That's what we do.
Okay, so let's show that. So that's the exterior, but is this the interior? I almost went like that.
Not that, no.
Okay, so yeah.
Let's see. SPMS 0. That's
Virgin.
Yeah, I was going to say, this is the updated.
Okay, so keep in mind the moment that I walk away from you, the mic is gone. So just 1 second. Let me just show this. I don't know if it's going to actually show up on screen. There we go. This is the Electrodacus SPMS 0, and it is created by Dacian in Canada, and it is a solar battery management system, and Rex has recommended it to control.
It's on the website.
Yes. Good.
So they can look it up.
Okay.
You got your pens and pencils ready?
I already have your pens and pencils ready. You can sharpen that pencil. Here we go. Is it just electronic stuff?
Yeah.
Any moderators here in the chat? What's up, Jevin? Hey, welcome into the chat.
Yeah, why would you not go 48 volt with the loads are probably going to be really high current? Like conditioner inverter. 48 volt is a great voltage choice. And work with this trailer already having 12 volt, but you don't have to do anything with the wiring, then I would absolutely recommend 48 volts for sure.
Yeah, so the trailer is not, unless it's specified, I'm assuming, direct from the dealer, it's not going to be built, wired, pre-wired with the 48 or 12, whatever.
What it comes down to actually is if the wiring, if it's a 12 volt system, the wiring will already be overkill, way overkill for a 48.
Yeah. Keeps my ADHD brain on track. It's changed my life.
So basically, you can put 4 times the average the same wiring if it was a 48 volt system. So you could do that. But if your lighting is all 12 volt lighting, then you have to figure out how to change all that. If it's lighting in your refrigerator, it's a whole bunch of things which rely on the voltage. So if you're building your system from scratch, 48 volt, 100%. Exactly what I'm doing. And if the system is already set up for 12 volt, hard to have any reason to change it.
Great answer. I'm still typing out electric jackets. This is where the Bluetooth keyboard would really come in handy. All right, and send it. Did I spell that out correctly? Because once it's gone, it's gone.
Cool. And the electrodeck is for building your own battery. So these cells, lithium iron phosphate cells, can be purchased on AliExpress.com. And there may be a bit of a shipping.
Can't hear anything you're saying. What do you mean? No. No. Continue. You're good. I'm good. Yeah.
Somebody forgot to turn the button.
Yeah. Continue talking. Oh yeah. Nope.
Okay.
I'm still right here. No, we're still right.
So,
Hold on. Get back to you.
So I would find something if you wanted to make your camera 12 volt lithium iron phosphate.
Turn this down. 1 second. Okay. Let me get this. All right. Mic check in the chat. Mic check in the chat. That was just somebody. Anyways.
Yeah. So I mean, you could buy these on Amazon if you wanted to get them like today. So
2 weeks, a month, 2 months.
maybe 3 months.
It's got to be shipped.
Yeah,
But I got a boat.
some of it. This type of thing probably going to be shipped out. Big.
And it doesn't want to go in the airplane at my turbulence, right? No.
Yeah, well, you don't typically ship lithium batteries on a plane, so it's going to take the snow boat. But if you're wanting to save yourself, $300, $400, $500, $600, then I would buy them straight up on AliExpress.
Audio is that. All right, we're continuing on. Okay, so let's moving on. Okay, so moving on. The solar battery management system, the electrodex, is what you recommended. So if I can't get my hands on the electrodex in the 4 to 6, I haven't ordered it yet. So what would be an alternative?
An alternative would be there's BMSs that you can buy.
With battery management system. BMS, battery management system.
So the beauty of the electrodeck is it's a battery management system and it's a solar charge controller, an MPPT solar charge controller.
Hold. All right.
Built into one.
Okay. Okay. Pause.
Yeah. I may go a little bit faster.
I'm not ready for it. So, okay, let's do this. You're doing great. Doing it. Okay. So what is, okay, so what this is a battery management system. The electrodeck is a specific type of battery management system.
It's a special, it's a very unique type. It doesn't follow the standard rules of a battery.
Yeah, I like that. Who likes that?
And that's why I like it, because you can output gobs more power.
Okay, anybody, are there any mods, please? Let's see here. Continue that. I just don't want this work. Okay, so let's continue.
Yeah.
All right, so the DMS is a very specific type. So is the, okay, so we need a battery management system in order to control the output
And the inverter.
and the input of
And-
these battery
And
cells.
the voltage, charge, full charge voltage, discharge, low charge, or low voltage cutoff,
Okay,
so that you don't drain the cells.
okay,
And it's all adjustable in this electrodeck system. You choose, you put in the cell type, you put in what you want your voltage to be, you put in how many cells you're putting in there, and then your voltage. So it's all very configurable. It's not just for lithium iron phosphate. You can run any type of lithium battery or cell from 3 to 8
okay.
in series.
All right. Thanks, mods. Alrighty. Okay, so I missed that, but I'll go back and listen to it again. So, the inverter.
I don't know if we're done with the battery management system.
Okay, so let's continue on with the battery management system.
The inverter is great, but really it all comes down to the electrodeck or the BMS.
Okay.
So the electrodeck is, I'll just point out the key features of it. One,
Slow. I'm gonna write it down.
you can use, you can build any battery from 3 cells up to 8 cells.
So this is 8 cells right here. So you could build it with 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, if you want it.
You could build it with 4. You could build it with 5, 6, 7, or 8. You can't do 2 or 1. Okay.
Yep.
Between.
Not that you would need to, because there's really no inverters out there that are common are going to be able to utilize both stuff.
You mean the 2 or the 1?
Correct.
Okay.
It's too little.
Too lower voltage, so that's why they start at 3.
Well, I mean, it's that, and it's also the voltage of the components inside or
Inside of the.
inside the electrodeck. Yeah,
Okay, and just to clarify, he's not an ambassador. He's not a paid sponsor.
No, I just think what he's doing is amazing.
He's just inspired. So,
It's amazing.
yeah. So there's no sponsorship here for anybody that may think that. No.
No.
So, and I would like to get my hands on. Like to get my hands on one of the electrodeck systems, so I can find one used or pre-owned. I've done just a little bit of searching, but they're not available because
It's in demand.
it's in demand.
It's in demand.
So,
It's awesome.
okay.
And I think the main thing that's beautiful about it that beats any other BMS is that it doesn't actually, the current doesn't go through the BMS. So you can run 1,000 amps through using the BMS, not through the BMS, but using the BMS, SBMS, actually.
That's solar.
It's a
So
solar battery.
a battery management system can be not necessarily for solar only. Like, could you use wind through
Well,
a battery
The
management
battery
system?
management system is only paying attention to the cells and the input and output.
Okay.
That's it. It doesn't, if you needed solar to be fed into your typical lithium battery with the BMS, standard BMS, you have to have something.
You gotta slow down. Slow down. Slow down. Come on.
So this, I didn't draw that. Sure.
Visuals, please. Visuals,
Let's do
please.
this.
Says good stuff. Love that blue too. Yeah, I totally love the blue. Yeah, it's so good. My blue is my favorite color, so this works.
So let's say you've got solar panel chilling right here,
Okay.
soaking up some sun. And you just have a regular old BMS on your battery.
Battery management system.
Yeah, and it's basically
What's a regular battery system?
so just a standard battery management system.
So what would that be?
So that's
Like-
just a controller to control the input and output. So how much power is going to the battery, how much battery.
Okay.
To limit those things.
So if I typed into Amazon battery management system,
Yeah.
that's just like
Yeah.
that's probably your standard.
Yeah, just a standard battery management.
How is it powered?
Well, it's not.
Ooh. It's not powered by those, right?
It's not really. It is powered by yourself, but it's not something that has an interface. There's no buttons.
Okay.
It's just a board,
Okay.
and so that board is just basically making it so the flow of electricity is limited. Either direction.
Okay.
So it's
So
not.
the-
It's not smart. I would call it. It's a dumb BMS.
Yeah, that's helpful. Okay.
Yeah, okay. So it's a dumb.
Dumb.
So it's like a typewriter.
A type.
And that's an electric stuff.
Okay. A typewriter versus a laptop.
Right.
That-
Huge difference.
Okay. Smart. It's not smart. Got it.
It's not smart.
Okay.
Dumb.
Okay. All right. So if you had a regular dumb BMS.
Yeah.
So then what?
I
With
mean,
the solar
I-
panels.
some people might not call it that.
Right. But this is your opinion.
So-
You're here and they're not here. So
Right.
whatever. You know.
Okay, so in between your solar panels and your regular BMS, which is, we'll just call it your battery, because your battery is cells and the BMS together. That's your battery.
Okay, that is something that I need to ingrain in my brain just for a second before you move forward. So your battery for an off-grid power system, which is what he's helping me design here. This is Rex Litwiller. He's at ThinkFab on Twitter. Okay, everybody give him a follow. Apterosaurus Rex is the name. He is an Aptera ambassador, and that means he's not paid. Just means that he's inspired and wants to be a part of the movement. So this is Rex. We're just joining. And where's he? I can't remember. So, anyways, okay. So the battery, because for me, this when you say this is a battery, I'm like, but there's
Those are cells. That's not a battery.
Ooh.
It's not a battery.
Okay, so the 8 cells.
It's not a battery until it has others going.
Oh, hey-oh. Okay, so I need to back up and say your typical 12-volt battery
Yeah,
that powers
Yeah,
the
that's it.
electronics in your car. Yeah.
pretty darn good.
Okay.
That's why.
Okay.
Lead acid is a dumb battery,
Okay.
but it's a battery nonetheless.
But it's got battery chemistry and the battery management system built into it.
Well, it has lead plates. It has an electrolyte solution inside it. But it's really hard to pry it. Besides, like under like discharge.
Okay, so Ohm says 6 cells equals 1 battery. Got it. Pause. That's almost correct.
It's one part of the battery.
One part of the
It's
battery.
the important part of the battery because it didn't have it to do anything. But
It provides
it's not,
the sauce, the electrical sauce to like, right?
this is full of pixies.
Full of pixies.
Full of pixies.
Full of pixies. It provides the magic,
That's right.
which is the electricity.
That's right.
So the battery management system is what controls it. It's the brain.
It's the brain.
So it's the brain of the pixies and how they are received and
These are
brought back and forth.
these are pixie holders.
Pixies.
That's
Yes.
all they really are.
Yes. All right. So in order to create a battery for, in my case right now, you see 8 battery cells.
Cells.
Do we even call them battery cells? They could be used for
Cells.
cells. Okay. So 8 cells, and then in order to control the pixies that are inside of this, the pixies of the electricity, we're going to have a battery management system, a smart battery management system, which means that it would be like a computer capable versus a typewriter. You guys remember typewriters? So the Electrodeck is what he has recommended. Not a sponsor. Electrodacus has a smarter brain, much smarter brain, he says.
It's like the Elon Musk battery management systems. That's what
Okay, can someone type that in the chat? Can someone type that in the chat? Elon Musk of battery management systems equals Electrodacus. Can someone please type that in the chat? Anybody? Let me know.
Yeah.
We're doing this, so we're gonna keep going on. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So we got 8 cells, and all of these cells are going to be positive, negative, controlled, wired together.
They're wired in series. So if you took these and you actually moved them, so it was like positive, negative, and then the next positive, negative,
Okay, so positive, negative.
positive, negative, positive, negative. You did that in a row, and you linked every other one together, right? So you link the negative to the positive, the next negative to the positive, and you did that in a row.
Yeah.
You would end up with your battery complete. But we want it to be not a super long, 8-foot long thing. So we instead
Because it's got to fit in my
it's
trailer.
gotta fit
In the
trailer.
small compartment underneath my van, I think is where it's going to go.
Yeah, that's perfect.
Yeah.
Thank
Thank you, Ohm, for saying Elon Musk of battery management systems equals battery daiquiris.
Close enough.
Close enough.
Um,
Equals, yes. Oh, go get your first vaccination. Bye, Krishna. Thanks for stopping by. Good luck with the first vaccination. We're sending healing vibes.
yeah.
Okay.
That's very important.
Thanks for your knowledge on this too. It's fun to have somebody who knows, anyways. Okay. So the battery, it equals the Electrodacus. Okay, so we got 8 cells. It's going to go into, hopefully go into an Electrodacus. The Electrodacus is going to speak to the pixies of electricity that are inside of this. Then what?
So it's see.
Woo-hoo-hoo.
Speak to the pixies. Interesting concept.
Because you have a conversation and it goes back and forth. You can talk to the wall, but the wall won't talk back. So if you converse, like you and I can talk to one another.
It actually just watches.
Oh, so it babysits.
It babysits. Exactly. Very accurate.
Okay.
What is
And it says no when it has.
So on a regular BMS, inside of it, there are little switches, and they'll turn on and turn off depending on what they need to do in order to make it so that there's not too much energy going in or out.
Okay.
On the Electrodacus, he set it up so that instead of having that stuff on board, you can determine how much power you want through your battery or go into your battery, right? So the solar coming into the battery will go through a breaker, and you choose how big that breaker is.
Oh.
And if too much power comes in, the breaker trips.
Okay.
So you don't have a battery management system that's doing that. You have a breaker that's doing that.
In a house. Okay.
And it's the same thing on the outlet. So it watches the energy going through to know how charged your battery is, how much capacity is left. And if, say, you have a 100 amp breaker, you use 120 amps for 15 seconds or however long it takes for that breaker to trip.
Meaning, hold on, I have to put this into a visual term. So I plugged my hair dryer and my portable AC unit into a power strip, which I've done before, and it tripped the breaker. Boom, done. Okay, continuing on.
Yep. So yeah, the breakers would trip if you give too much power. And so that's basically how it's better, because it lets you determine, right? It's like you can buy this thing for, I don't know, it's around $200 or probably less than $200.
Which is insane.
Which is insane.
How cheap that is.
Beyond
$200 US, $240, whatever. Even if it were $300, worth it.
Right. That'll get you. You can get an iPhone 7s, or you can get an Electrodacus. It's pretty.
There we go. I like that comparison.
So
I should order one right now as we're speaking about it. Okay. How much power? What's up, Roxanne? Coming in from Gun Barrel City, Texas. Hello.
Yeah.
Welcome to the stream, Roxanne.
Are we talking about how much power here?
Good question.
That is a great question.
Power. Yeah, Roxanne, if you can specify, how much power you're asking. She'll get back to us. Welcome, Roxanne. Okay, so the BMS, the electrodynamic a standard, dumb, non-smart, battery management system babysits the pixies, watches the pixies, acts as a breaker for the pixies that are coming between my solar panels and the charge controller.
Are you talking about
I'm trying to think of
the electrodynamics or a different?
Let's talk about the electrodynamics.
Yeah. So the electrodynamics you watch and just basically know how much capacity is left in the battery.
Okay.
Monitor the voltage of each cell.
And what will it do when there's low battery or low power left in the pack in this?
Then it'll shut it.
Okay, so it'll shut it all down. Okay, so it doesn't try to pull out power that's not there. Is that how it breaks?
Yeah.
Too much. Enough.
Yeah, I mean, at a certain point, what it comes down to is because it's smart, you input that data.
Okay.
How charged do you want full charge to be? How discharged do you want full discharge to be?
Okay.
If you want, say, you want your battery to last longer than 30 years, whatever crazy reason, you can make it so that it doesn't have
crazy or crazy or wise. There we go.
Yeah, because if you can eliminate the top and bottom roughly 10% of your battery from being used, then it's going to last a lot longer.
And that's why Tesla recommends, or maybe not Tesla, but they say don't always charge to 100%.
A lot of companies using lithium batteries are starting to say that.
Okay.
You think that it'd be simpler to find a charger that only charges to 90%.
Right.
It's not easy to find.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
So
Roxanne asked, how long do they last? Are they
30 plus
space ready? That's a great question.
Can
they go to Mars?
There's a question I have not
thought about. Exactly. That's why it's so fun to interact with people. Great question, Roxanne. I love questions like that.
The problem is there's air in here and they're exposed to vacuum. They will explode.
So vacuum.
These inside of the container.
They're exposed in vacuum. So
outer space is a vacuum.
Right. But I don't know what that means.
That means that it's basically it's void of any atmosphere.
Okay.
So
no oxygen.
There's no oxygen. There's nothing. And basically, the vacuum space is constantly trying to strip away the oxygen, pull it, and expand it.
Okay. Okay.
To expand.
No air, that's what she says. Yes.
Yeah, no air. So if there's oxygen in here, it will expand. It will expand. It will expand. It will expand. There's no pressure in outer space.
Yes.
So the oxygen will expand rapidly and it will explode.
Okay, so what kind of container would you put those in order
I put them in a pressurized container.
A pressurized, like a Pelican case. Super Pelican case.
You need a super Pelican.
Super Pelican case.
Probably gonna have to be more.
Okay. Do they give off hydrogen? Is what Roxanne asked.
They don't give off hydrogen.
So is there something?
It's not like a lead acid battery. Lead acid battery gives off hydrogen, and you don't want that. That is a danger and a concern to the camper. This is why a lot of the times you see the camper has the battery actually in an outside compartment.
Yes.
It's sealed off from the rest of the
Yes.
And that's
I've seen, yeah, and they normally put it on the top. Yeah.
That's a door and everything like that.
Oh, wow.
It's separated from the cabin because hydrogen is toxic. You don't want to be breathing hydrogen.
Oh my gosh, I've never known that. Why it's on the outside? Because I think like, it's exposed to the element, the heat, all that stuff. But it is what it is.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, when you charge a lead acid battery and it's at full charge and you keep charging, it will emit hydrogen.
Oh gosh.
So if you wanted to make hydrogen,
Then do it that way.
we can do it that way. It's not that it's possible.
All right.
And explosive.
That's a great question. Keep these questions coming. That's so great. Owen says, baby blue electro daiquiris. Are you drinking them? Love you. Baby blue electro daiquiris with space ready pixie BMS.
Perfect.
Great. Love it. Yes. Oh, got it. Okay, vent to space. Yeah, so keep, yeah, everybody, if you're still here on the stream, let me know in the chat. We've got Roxanne, we've got Ohm. I know that there are some people behind the scenes who may not be right in front of the screen, but if you're still here and listening, let us know in the chat. I'd love to just know people are still here and hearing this. And if not, that's cool. People will listen back to it later. Okay, because this is information that's like hard to find. It's not available.
We need to understand what it was, right? That's not important. What are all these things?
Right.
What's a P?
Gases.
What's a W?
Yeah.
What's an A? Why is one lowercase?
Right.
Why is one not?
Right. Right.
What's going on? What's the forward slash for?
Right. Okay, so these. Okay, so with Roxanne's mention of these do not emit hydrogen, so I don't have to worry about that. I would have never even known that I would have to worry about that if we didn't do this stream. Okay, so these are much more safe
Far much.
for a camper or a.
For anything that contains fire.
Okay.
For sure.
Anything that contains fire.
Yeah.
Okay.
In your living space.
In your living space. That's a, okay. Cool.
They're very safe.
Lithium iron phosphate, not lithium ion. There's a difference. Lithium iron, which is Li, capital L, lowercase I, capital F, lowercase e, capital, is it capital P?
Yeah.
Lowercase O. So that's lithium iron phosphate. 4. What's the 4 stand for? There's 4 phosphate. CO4.
Yeah.
They weigh a lot, is what Roxanne says.
It depends on what you're using it for. In a camper, this is much lighter. This is actually less than half of the weight for the same amount of energy compared to the lead acid battery system. Far lighter.
Okay.
Now, if you're talking about something that requires really high output, high capacity, like high density, and low weight, like in a car, then they are less desirable. And in this form factor, not desirable really at all because they're so massive. But
Okay, so you're saying campers have a power converter, is that what this is?
an inverter, yeah. A power converter. I mean, you can call it a power converter. The technical term would be inverter. So
Systems one over the other.
standard is what
Bringing in the
what she
knowledge.
means by standard is
Roxanne!
standard is 110 volt AC, and all batteries are DC. So you need to make your battery go from DC, and especially on this system, low voltage DC to AC.
So direct current DC is what DC stands for.
That's right.
Alternating current is what AC stands for, right? Like AC, DC band.
Like AC.
Yeah, Roxanne in the house says, that's right. Roxanne. Okay, so yes.
Yeah, and the inverter will basically take your DC power and turn it into AC standard, household power, which is what you plug in your hair dryer, your toaster.
Which you have drawn out on the diagram.
Right.
I just put my thing's gonna go away. Oop. Right.
AC to DC converter across 60 watts. Except we won't be going for AC. That's right. Give me a second.
That's why I had the road mics, but okay, so here's the inverter system that he added. 5 based on my electrical usage. Cool, she says. AC to DC converter costs $60. Okay, so I asked him to give me like the higher cost because I pay cash, right? So I want to know outright like what probably not just the average, but yeah. So the inverter, this is based on 5 kilowatt hours or kilowatts. Okay, 5 kilowatts of output.
5,000 watts.
Okay. And then you said 10 kilowatt peak. Split phase question mark, and then you said 110 volt or 220 volt or both. So let me get back to you so you can just kind of explain that.
So,
Okay.
so first, Roxanne's an AC to DC converter costs us $60. We're actually needing a DC to AC inverter.
Oh, okay, that's interesting.
An AC to DC converter, which I mean, plug into your wall and power something like, for instance, an electric 12 volt cooler, like what I have in my car. So I can bring it into my house. I can use an AC to DC converter, and I can keep running my 12 volt stuff, all my 12 volt stuff, like what I plug into my car, my house, and those are cheap. An inverter, however, not as cheap.
Okay, so a direct current to an alternating current.
That's an inverter.
See, time goes fast, huh? Inverter. So this is an inverter instead of a converter. Okay, so DC to AC as opposed to AC to DC. Okay, that's helpful. So in order to convert the solar energy into or whatever power to be stored in these cells.
Then we need well, the electrodatus will take care of that.
Okay.
But if we didn't have the electrodatus, we just used the standard dumb EMS, we would need what's called a solar charge controller.
Okay, and you have that written here. And
This is built in.
oh,
It's cheaper.
okay, so the electroductus has a built-in, it's not only a battery management system, it has a brain of like Elon Musk in the terms of talking about battery management systems, but it also has a built-in solar charge controller. So if I were to go with a standard Amazon Basics, if they made one, they probably don't, but they will. Amazon Basics battery management system, okay, just a generic whatever, off-brand, I would still require a solar charge controller to use with the Amazon Basics battery management system. Is that right?
In order to bring the solar into the batteries.
Okay. So the electroductus takes care of both of those things.
Takes care of both.
And electroductus supports one person who's doing this. One person, everybody.
Yeah, one guy.
Yeah.
Amazon,
Insane.
managing everything by himself.
It's insane.
He's
Okay.
magic.
Roxanne's asked, are these cheaper than car batteries? Car batteries as in like electric car batteries or 12? Okay.
No, but car batteries, well, they have an incredible load and output that they can sustain. They don't have very much capacity. They don't have that much energy density.
Are we talking about like a Tesla, or are we talking like the
We're
battery
talking
pack of
about-
a Tesla? Or are we
We're
talking
talking
about
about our standard
12 volts?
12 volt.
Okay, so like what powers your interior lights, right?
Correct.
What powers your security system if you have one?
Sure.
What
Headlights.
powers your your headlights?
Trailer wiring,
Your trailer wiring,
fan,
your fan,
fan,
for the engine?
fan inside your car, the fan for your radiator, yes, and your AC.
Oh, powers your AC.
Well, your AC needs a fan. Your AC needs a fan to basically blow the air through the condenser. And that fan, everything in a car is all electrical wise, except for like your spark plug,
Okay.
distributor, or anyways.
Okay.
Yeah, everything's local.
Okay. All right. So the answer is no. They're not less
They're
expensive,
not less expensive.
but they're new. They're not necessarily new, but they're not common
They're not
Yeah.
that common yet.
yet.
But here's the caveat. Okay. How often do you have to replace your lead acid battery in your car? It's about every 6, maybe 8 years if you're really lucky. 6 to 8 years.
Okay.
So
If it's not faulty.
yeah, for that.
Yeah.
Right. If
Yeah.
you didn't if you accidentally left your door cracked open all night long and you killed your battery, now you're looking at like a 5 or 6 year battery. If you did that 3 times, you're looking at like a 4 or 5 year battery.
So why does it do so? Just on that topic alone, why does it degrade the battery so much by discharging it 100%?
It degrades the battery so much because there are
You don't know, that's
I
okay.
do know.
Okay.
Basically, there's like a scale that forms over top of the lead in the battery, and it
Oh.
makes it difficult for the electrons to flow through. Just simply put.
Every time that it is powered down to 0%.
Right.
So it's like basically just, is it trying to protect itself? Is it trying to eat itself? Like,
Yeah, it's basically I guess I don't know the exact reason why, but I think it has something to do with
it physically damages it.
it physically damages. Yeah, it's like once you get past a certain voltage, it starts. It's like I think they call it electro. It's
Electroparalysis.
that's powder coating.
Okay.
But anyways, basically, yeah, what happens is it gets like a scaling, like a scale over top of the lead parts,
Okay.
and it's hard to break those that off. And you want your lead to be clean. If your
Okay.
lead gets dirty, it has stuff on it.
Right. It's going to be less efficient, less usable, and so that's why you said if it happens once, it's going to be, it's going to lower it. If it happens a couple of different times, then it's more scale.
Yeah. It takes like literal years off of your battery if you do that every time.
Okay. All right. That's great info.
Like
Okay.
if it's new, especially. And if it's old, we do that. Try to bring it back. It might just be toast.
Oh, you can't revitalize the old.
If your battery's already 6 or 7 years old and you did that, you probably never bring it back.
Interesting. That's a fun fact for everybody to know. If they have their opinion like that. Okay, so Thaddeus says kilowatts is a flow rate and kilowatt hour are an amount of power.
Correct. It's a capacity.
Correct. Okay. Much cheaper in this case thanks to generous donor. Yes.
Oh yeah, and speaking of, what I was actually trying to get to was if your lead acid battery lasts for say 6 years on average, you're going to replace it 4 times in a matter of 24 years.
Okay, and that would be given if you have the same car for 24 years. Because I'm only thinking to a car.
Exactly. So if you bought a brand new car, and the first time the battery died, and you planned on having it for 2 years, and the first time the battery died, and you replaced it with this,
Ooh.
then you don't ever buy another battery.
You don't ever, even if you let it die, like if this goes down to.
Well, that's the best thing about this is because it has a battery management system, it won't die all the way. It will stop allowing the voltage to be pulled from it at a certain point.
Can you attach your battery management system to a 12-volt battery?
This is a question that I had.
But here we go.
And so far, I personally haven't found it.
Okay.
Well, that's not true. I have found somebody that makes it. I haven't purchased it because I'm beyond wanting to do it.
Lead acid. Yeah. Not only because the chemistry is.
And it's heavy.
It's heavy.
It's like the capacity. You don't want to lug that stuff around.
Yeah. It doesn't last as long. You can't. This is just, This is where well, I don't know if you feel this way, but this is where the future is. This and lithium ion. Nickel, whatever.
There's a lot of different chemistries. Some have aluminum, some aluminum.
All different kinds of metal components.
Nickel, there's a whole bunch of stuff.
Okay, cool.
And they're evolving rapidly.
Very rapidly. Very rapidly. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So what are we on to? We've discussed the battery management system, which has, if I do an electrodacus, which I will, hopefully, I can get a hold of one soon. But if anybody has contacts, by the way, is it Dacian? I should get his. Anyways.
He will definitely respond back.
Boom.
He's great.
I'll send him a link to this
He's great.
so you can see it. Okay, cool.
I can't speak highly enough.
So that will have a built-in solar charge controller and battery management system. It's all built in. I will connect that via wires to, this is going to be the total battery because there's 8 cells. That's going to be the battery, okay, for my trailer. And then the electrodacus is going to be wired to an inverter, which is a DC direct current to alternating current, which is reverse of a AC-DC, AC to DC converter, which is what you would use in your car.
You'd use it if you had a 12-volt accessory
Okay.
in your car.
So 12-volt accessory. You said
Anything you plug into your cigarette lighter.
anything you plug. Okay, that's helpful. Okay.
Anything. That's 12 volt. Your car's 12 volt. Anything you plug into your cigarette lighter is going to be 12 volt. And if you wanted to use that stuff in your house, you can. You get a DC, an AC to DC converter.
Okay.
And they're pretty inexpensive.
Okay.
And you just run everything that you run in your house. They're running your car.
Is that common? Do people do that?
I have several.
And people outside of you.
People outside of me.
Does anybody do that? I'm just curious.
Yeah, does anybody do that? There's
Like anything that you would plug into your cigarette lighter. I think Roxanne, it sounds like she knew how much it costs, $60.
that would be a really heavy duty.
Okay.
Yeah. You know, I think mine that I picked up was maybe $22, and that's a 120 watt output, which is pretty close to what you're going to be, you know, running max wattage in your car.
This is cool stuff, says Roxanne. Yes, it is really cool. I'm so glad everybody's here enjoying it.
Life hacks in there.
Survival, that's right. That's right. So the whole goal of all of this is to obviously want to learn this stuff, but I reached out to Rex to help because he's the only person I know of that I feel like you have the most amount of knowledge of all of this stuff.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, and so yeah, he told the story of the trailer and the situation to the generous donor who happened to be on my stream a couple of times, but knew of me. He told the story and he donated to the cause. So the cause is to power my RV travel trailer when I'm in Starbase, Texas, because I would like to be able to live completely off-grid, as in not attached to the power system at all in Brownsville, Texas, or Starbase, Texas. So this is the cause. And I could go anywhere and be in a field somewhere, farm, go to Indiana and be in a farm field and not have to worry about plugging in an extension cord, even though that's a fire hazard extension cord, to power this stuff. Welcome to Texas. Roxanne, I will be there. I'm still in Phoenix, but I'll be there soon. And I'll be joining you in Texas. Zombie ready. Yes, apocalyptic ready. Okay, so in between, once we have the inverter connected, the inverter connected to the electrodacus. The electrodacus is connected to the cells that are one complete battery. Then on other set of wires, we're going to have the solar panels.
Yes, although I have to correct you.
Go for it.
The inverter can be connected. Well, the version that I have, the inverter can be connected to the electrodacus. Mine is the older version, the SBMS 40. I'm not sure if you can do that with the SBMS 0. What you actually do is you connect your inverter to your battery. And between the battery and your inverter is a shunt, and that's what the electrodacus watches to know how much power is going in and out.
What's another word for a shunt?
So a shunt is basically it's a strip of metal that's been calibrated, precisely cut to have a specific resistance. And the electrodacus basically just watches what's the difference in voltage from one side of the shunt to the other. So it's like you're wiring.
It's like a gate.
It's like a gate.
Like a gatekeeper.
It's
like for water, hydro.
It sort of is. It's like watching. It's like, are you
It's like
using
security
more?
of the club.
Right. Yeah, it is security.
I always need to
it's keeping track.
It's keeping track of how much
electricity. It's watching like how many people are flowing through this gate right now.
Ooh, COVID reference, ding, 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 ding.
So
it's gonna watch how many people are in one area at one time.
Yeah.
But in terms of electricity.
Right. Flow is going too fast, or we know what the flow is basically, and we can monitor
because
that.
the electrodacus is monitoring what
It's doing the monitoring job. Yeah.
it's the brains.
The brains
of the pixies.
That's right.
The pixie
It's overhead. It's watching the pixies flow through, and it's keeping track of them, and it's counting them up.
Okay.
And it's showing you on the display on the electrodacus how much wattage you're using, or
Okay.
amperage, or how much solar energy is coming in,
Okay.
or amperages of solar energy.
Okay.
And yeah, so basically your inverter is actually connected to your battery, and there's a breaker, there's a shunt, and then there's a breaker.
Wait, now you're changing. What you drew here is that it's connected to the.
That's why I said this was a very, very quick drawing.
Okay.
This isn't accurate. It's just basically showing the pieces, the major pieces.
Got it. Okay. Understood.
But
Okay.
there are things in between.
Okay. Cool.
There's a shunt, you look your back watches, and then there's a breaker. And
Okay.
if too much power goes through the wires,
Where's the breaker at? Where's the breaker here? No?
it would actually be on the other side of the shunt. It's the breaker goes on the inverter side.
Gotta have those visuals. All right, let's see. RVs are fun. Yes, it took time for her to learn, says Roxanne. The grid can go down at any time. Correct.
Yeah.
You live in Texas.
Yeah.
You witnessed the winter storm that shut the grid down. So you are a great example of, or someone who's gone through that. I always like to reference my friends, the Enlos, whom I met in South Padre Island when I was down there for South Padre Island and Boca Chica and Starbase in Brownsville, Texas. Let's just call that one. They have an RV parked on their lot, slept in my car for both Starship SN9, serial number 9, and also Starship SN10, serial number 10. Launch flights, test flights. And they are completely off grid with solar. So I think that, I can't remember the total amount that they have. They've got a lot. They've got a full roof, and then they have like more panels are on the lawn. And they said that when the grid went down, the entire RV park was out of power, and they didn't notice. They didn't even notice.
You don't need to because you're not connected.
Yeah. So she said it was just dark, and they were like fully powered up. I want to be that. Okay, so shunt breaker. AC uses a lot of power to stay cool. Do you think you can get volts without 2 sets and maybe 3 systems to store power with an AC
Volts without 2 sets of batteries.
2 sets of, can you get 2 sets of batteries or 2 sets of,
You're gonna need that.
okay, so all of this, 8 cells, maybe she's saying 2 sets of 8 cells.
It would be great to have 10 kilowatt hours.
Is that what that, this is 5
This
kilowatt
is
hour, okay?
the more merrier.
Mm-hmm.
And we're not gonna really know until after we start on the system. But another beautiful thing about the electric diet system is because you can change the parameters, you can basically tell how big the battery you have. You can always add more later. Super simple.
I love that. So part of the do-it-yourself DIY. This is a start. This is a great start, right?
It is. It's a really great start. It's an amazing. This battery is more than 2 times the capacity of what I have in my trailer, and I ran an off-grid, full off-grid system in the kitchen, everybody's phones and everything, a welder, 2 freezers, and I ran them, no problems. A stage, a small stage, mic and everything.
Oh my
And I
God.
ran it off of a system less than half this big. Now, I'm not using consistent power like you'll be using with your Mac.
With my live stream setup.
With your iMac is going to use a decent amount of power.
What about with the external TV monitor and then plus the lighting?
Right. So if you're not live streaming 24/7, then it's not going to be a huge deal. If you are now, that will be a different story.
Challenge accepted.
Yeah. So
Challenge accepted.
this will be a determining factor of how much you live stream.
And it also depends on me being able to have internet down there. I'm also working on that. Yes. Okay. Challenge. I have 2 orders in. 2 orders. One for South Padre Island or for down there at a friend's address because I don't have an address down there yet. And then one for here in Phoenix.
Too much.
Not yet. Yeah, right now. Yeah, the we can break the geotag. I just need to get the hardware. I'm waiting on the hardware to be delivered, but it hasn't been delivered. So that's why I still have my Phoenix one, which I just changed over to this. I changed it to this hotel last night, the address. What if I'm here and the ship's here? Boom, Starlink.
I'm not sure how far out they are.
Well, here's the thing. Starship has a satellite on the side of it that's Starlink. Yeah. So it's not necessarily, they might not be ready to give it to consumers regularly because if I don't, during Starship SN15, which my screen cut out right at lift off, whatever, we're moving past that. I'm trying to move past it. Anyways, the camera feed was going in and out from SpaceX. So my theory, and I don't know this for sure, this is just my thought, is that they were using Starlink to test to see what the transmission would be, and it was. So that means that there's satellites that are orbiting either close enough or a line that it could provide some kind of. So on the next launch, it's going to be even better transmission. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I hope that's true.
I hope so too. So, okay, so shunt breaker. Okay, so now and there's wires and connectors and stuff, which is other stuff, but that's
yeah.
Okay, so
that's kind of.
let's talk about solar panels.
Yeah. So solar panels. Fun part.
Okay, should I reset the stream actually, real quick? If you're still here, let me know in the chat. We'd love to know that you're still alive, breathing, and looking at the screen, or at least not looking at the screen, hearing what we're saying. Let us know, give us a shout out where you're coming in from, what time is it, what the temperature is, if you haven't already. I'm looking at that battery, it looks like it's low. Can you see that from here? On the right-hand side of the screen.
39%.
39%, cool. All right, so let me know. Roxanne, I know, is here coming in from Gun Barrel City, Texas. I know that maybe in the background there's Hector Ramos coming from Scottsdale, Arizona. We're coming in from Phoenix right now. He's en route back to his hometown. Yep, Michigan, or in Michigan. But he came from California. Emeryville, California. And yeah, you came through, dropped these off, and yeah, here we are talking about this stuff. All right.
And hopefully people find
We can hear you from Scottsdale. Sweet. Yeah. If this is valuable, please leave a comment below. That'd be great. Maybe hit that thumbs up button. Maybe share a link to it.
Yeah. And if you have further questions, hit me up on Twitter.
Yep.
At ThinkFab.
Think THINKFAB.
Right.
Fab, like fabricator. He's a fabricator. And other things.
And I built stuff.
You build stuff.
Whatever.
All right. So, 2 sets, 2 solars is what she said. Bernice. I think she's maybe trying to find the capacity of what.
3 sets.
Oh, wow. Can't read that. Right, you're in the house. That's right. Ohm's here. Thank you. Here, engaged. Thank you, Ohm Auto, coming in from the Bay Area. Thaddeus Walker is hearing. Thank you for letting me know. Awesome.
I went past I don't know how many times.
Really?
Yeah, really.
What do you mean? Like physically past it? Like driving?
Yeah, so it's the one that's in the Emeryville area.
I know he's in San Francisco-ish area, Bay Area. Okay. Yeah, Eric Ohm. Oh, Ohm Automation? The business?
I'm not sure. I guess we'll have to ask. Is it somewhere near Emeryville?
Hey, Ohm Auto. Hey, right? Yeah. Hey, oh yes, this is cool. Hey, Roxanne, Ohm Auto says Victor. Oh, we got I'm Nikki. Hi, Nicole. Hi, I love the heart that you sent. Thanks so much for letting us know that you're here. Hi, Nicole. Awesome, sweet. I love it. We've got people here. Thank you for letting us know that you're still here. No, it's still live.
So I guess I'm still not understanding resets to solar thing. What reference. But on your setup, essentially what we're going to be trying to accomplish is filling all of the void or as much of the void space that isn't being used on the top of the camper as possible. There's obviously vents, which you can see.
There's above where the shower is, there's it's a fan where the toilet is. all of that will inhibit the ability to put a particular size solar panel, not just the wattage of the panel, but also the
Well,
dimension.
Yeah, it's dimension. It's basically all in dimension. We're gonna try to fill up as much space as possible. So we'll take the inches that we can, however many inches we can fit from one side of the camera to the other, and we'll get to the vent systems or the AC and all that, and we'll just do our best to try to find a panel that fits and maximize that space as best as possible.
And these will be mounted to the roof.
It'll be mounted.
And you told me before that in order for a solar panel to be, efficient, and effective, it can't get too hot. So
Yeah,
it has to have air,
raised.
has to be raised up a little bit off the roof.
I mean, it would still work. You're going to lose 10, maybe 20% actually. If you're in
Efficiency,
Texas,
right.
in a place that's super hot.
Yeah.
Solar cells, the hotter they get, the lower the amperage. The voltage will still come out fine,
Mhm.
but the amperage, the hotter the cells get, the more the amperage falls off.
So the amperage would affect what?
You got volts, it stays the same, but your amps goes down, and you do volt times amps, then your wattage.
Oh, okay. And so we're talking about,
Wattage is power.
okay, and then the solar panels are rated watt capability?
They're
It's only a percentage of the watt.
watts, there's amps, there's
Those
those things are all on the info sheet from that.
Okay, wait. Can I plug into there? He built his own bed. Can I raise that up? How far can it stretch? This is a custom built battery that Rex here built for himself as a power bank. How are these lithium?
Those are 18650s.
These are 18. Oh, I have one of those upstairs. That's what Gruber they gave me one. Yeah. Okay, so this is custom built by Rex. And can you tell me, was that facade?
It's supposed to have a tinted window over it.
Oh, no way.
normally,
That's so
But
cool.
I'll show you.
You hold it so I don't drop it.
I'll
Yeah.
show you your percentage. So it looks like it's at 88% right now.
Talk a little bit louder. Yeah.
And it's got 4 outputs,
Okay.
2 on each side.
What are the outputs that we're looking at?
So one is a 1 amp and one is a 2.1 amp
Which are USB,
USB, just standard USB.
standard USB, so USB 2.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then
Oh, that's
it can
cool.
charge input by USB-C,
USB-C,
standard
which
USB,
is also Thunderbolt 2 or whatever. Okay.
and then also Lightning. So
Oh.
any plug you have, you can charge with. You
Whoa.
can use it to,
How
to
many
charge it up.
18650 cells are inside of that? 24. Let me guess. I have no idea.
You're close, but it's 20.
20. Cool.
20.
So you custom built this.
Yeah.
And that's cool. Does anybody have any questions about that? Like, that's pretty cool.
A friend of mine wanted me to build a pack, and then I started building this.
And you're like, oh, I could probably use that.
And well, I'm like, I put way more time into this than I should have.
Oh, there we
I'm
go.
gonna build you a different one
There we go.
because this one was like a prototype.
Cut the green wire, not the red wire. What does that mean? Do we know what that
It
means?
looks like a bomb. Is what he's referencing.
Oh, silly
Yeah.
Tricks are for kids.
I should have used clear so you can see all the little bomb pieces.
Oh, shh. YouTube is listening. YouTube is listening.
Obviously,
Google is listening.
these are
That's a
all
joke,
battery
everybody.
things. These are all battery things.
I want to get demonetized or kicked off YouTube for your stupid jokes. Love you. Okay. Let's see. They're not stupid. We just have to watch because remember, Google's listening and translating everything, transcribing it. All right. How long do you get out of that? Is what Roxanne is asking. How much time?
I get about a week charging everything. So I use 2 cell phones, ear pods, an electronic lighter.
Two.
An
I
iPad.
okay. Do not say on airplanes. Exactly, Roxanne. Or in an airport. You don't say those words. Or on YouTube. Because Google owns YouTube. Okay.
It lasts at least a week.
At least a week. 7 days. That's a long time.
Yeah, I charge it like once a week.
Okay, so I see that you don't have, what's this called? The one where my laptop would plug into.
No, I wanted to build one of those.
No problem.
And I could. All I need to do is build in what's called a DC to DC converter and adjust the voltage output
Okay.
so that it can run USB stuff like this. And then I can also adjust the voltage coming out to 12 volt. And then I would just use a 12 volt cigarette lighter style and I would connect it into that.
Wow.
Sounds complicated.
No.
Not too complicated.
Okay, and so would you still be able to power, like, for example, this laptop? It's a MacBook Air with 20 18650 battery cells.
Definitely, but not using this pack because these are old laptop cells. These came out of the scrap pile.
There we go. Okay, so they're reused.
These are reused.
Recycled.
Yeah.
So that's a really good point. Let's bring that up right now. Is that laptop uses 18? Okay. So yeah, so good. So when I was at Gruber Motor Company or Gruber Motors here in Phoenix, they gosh, time flies. 8:30. So they have the largest at this time independent Tesla service and repair center, specifically reverse engineering Tesla Roadster batteries because that was the first, the original.
And they're probably starting to die.
So what they're doing, or what they did, which was really smart, is they started buying up batteries Roadster vehicles that were in floods.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah. So they were in floods, and I think I've told you this on the phone, but I'm going to reiterate to the chat. If you haven't seen that live stream with Pete, I think it's Pete Gruber of Gruber Motors, go through my live streams, or I can post a link or something. If there's, I don't know if there's any of the mods are here right now, but he's reverse engineering it with 18650s. But they, yeah, I asked him because he showed me a 9, I forget what they call it for the Tesla Roadsters. So there's 9 different whatevers. Okay. So let's pretend that this is a Sure. It's a pack of module. Yes. So yes, thank you. So there's 9 different modules. Okay. It filled with however many 18650 cells, which I wish I had it upstairs. And they were going through and testing to find out which module or modules had faulty or not, no longer working 18650 cells. And so the one that they had on display when I was there, it was one, they only had 2 modules of 9 total that they had to replace in order to get the battery pack working again.
Okay.
So I asked him, I said, so the 7 modules that are unaffected, the 2 modules that have affected 18650 cells, will you take those batteries out and put them into a different, use them again? He said no. And I'm sure that's because you don't know how good those are, or why it's faulty or whatever.
You can't guarantee that they're going to be good.
Right. So, and he said that's good for the owner because they only have to pay to swap out 2 modules rather than all 9. So anyways, then I brought up, okay, that's a great thing. So you can, which is what you've done, is you've recycled batteries. For example, they could have come out of that Tesla Roadster 2 modules that were bad, right? Had bad cells, and put them into this. So the whole battery recycling thing is it's now just getting momentum, I guess.
Yeah.
And
there are some kind of startups that are actually trying to turn this into a thing.
I've heard of a couple.
Yeah, there's a couple. I think there's a place in Ohio. I don't remember.
Yeah, there's one overseas. The Now You Know channel I would reference. They interview a bunch of different. There's one specific recent interview where it's a company that's wants to be able to take damaged batteries from the scene of Tesla accidents, if Tesla has an accident, and transport it safely to their warehouse and then repurpose it and scrap, get all the scraps out, scrap metal that can be reused, and then also the battery cells. Right. So, I don't know. Okay, so solar.
Yes.
So based on what you saw on my kilowatt meter.
Yeah, which was you used at least 100 kilowatt meter, which is not going to be that accurate in the grand scheme of things because of all the other things that weren't accounted for, like lighting and AC. Things that you're not in an off-grid situation. So you have a whole bunch of stuff.
I'm in a hotel has the electricity of the refrigerator, the microwave, the other lighting in the room powered. I was just plugging in to a power strip everything that my live stream setup requires. And that included the TV that was on the wall, or not the wall, the TV that's in the room, this laptop, my iMac computer, what I stream on usually, 2 Wise cameras, which are my just reaction videos, this cell phone, my iPhone, what else is there? These 2 ring lights that you can't see right now, and then I've got 4 LED, they're on tripod stands, color changing lights. I think that's it.
Yeah.
So that's a lot.
It's a lot, and it's also, it could be only a quarter of your total usage.
Right.
We don't know yet.
Right.
And we don't know because the environment is going to make it it'll be a big factor on how much AC you need or fan you need or anything like that.
And then also the efficiency of the panels, even if they're brand new with 30% efficiency or whatever.
20 would be a pretty high number.
20% efficiency.
You could get higher. 23 is like maxing it out at this stage of the game.
Okay.
But likely you'd be looking probably around 19 or 40%.
So that's so confusing for my brain because it's averages. So for example, if you go on Amazon and type in solar panel, the first 8,000 things that come up are 100-watt panels.
Sure.
So
those are common.
So can you explain that just how like 23% efficiency of a 100-watt panel would only be 23?
But we're going to learn a little thing here today.
Okay.
And what we're going to learn is actually how much of the solar that is hitting the ground in the space that your panel, 100-watt panel takes up.
Okay.
How much of that sun energy is actually converted into electricity?
And that depends on where the sun's at, whether there's shade, whether.
In this case, this is lab test results.
Okay, so best case scenario.
Best case scenario.
Got it.
Really, it is really the best case scenario. Likely you'll never actually see
achieve
the amount of 100. Like if you had a 100-watt panel, you likely will never see 100 watts.
Okay.
Coming through it.
Okay. Right now, yeah. Do you think that they'll ever achieve that?
Well, it comes down to the standards, right? If you happen to be in the literal best place on the planet, then you might see 100%.
Like here in Arizona, where we get over 300 days of sunshine.
Well, it's not just that. It has a lot to do with even elevation.
Oh, really?
Sure. The atmosphere has particles that the sun has.
Oh, that's true. And like, for example, in the desert, there's dust in the air.
And that makes a difference.
So oh my God.
Yeah.
Okay. So, okay. So I have an ex who got solar installed on his house. And when they were installed, I immediately go, okay, so there's dust that's going to collect on it. Do we need to clean it?
Yeah.
They said, no.
Well, you don't need to.
But
it will help if it gets dusty. It will definitely help. You might go from 90% of normal back up to normal. So like let's say you have a 10,000 watt system and your system is dusty, you might only be bringing in 9,000 watts if it's dusty.
Okay, so then if I just wash it off.
Back up to 10,000.
Okay, so yes, you should just rinse it off. Okay. So
I saw the panels on my trailer.
Yes.
Filtered.
Yes. But okay, and it's just with water, rinse with water. Okay. And I met somebody here a couple years back that started a company overseas where he goes and cleans commercial solar panel systems for large corporations. I was like, he just like runs a tractor through it.
Yeah, with like a bristle brush thing.
Yeah. And he's like expanding to Arizona and all over California.
I mean, if you can bring in, if you have
megawatt scale solar farm.
Megawatt is how many? 1 million watts? Wow.
So, you know,
Okay.
it turns out to be a lot of power that you're losing, or you're not able to bring in if your panels are burning. If you're losing 5 or 10%, that could be the difference between you making or breaking your monetary gain.
There we go. Yeah. So yeah, keep your solar panels clean, everyone. Wipe them off.
If
Rinse them off.
if you're in a place like Michigan, you probably don't have to do anything because it rains so often.
Right.
And it'll just stay cool,
Okay.
basically.
Yeah.
You might have to clean it every other year.
Wow. Yeah, that makes sense.
But
Okay.
in a place like Arizona, California, you don't have rain for 2, 3 months, 4 months at a time, then yeah, they're going to be filthy and you should wash them. Yeah.
Okay, now we're talking. Oh, thanks, Roxanne. You're coming up with the things that would be an alternative to what we're doing here. Just a portable power system. Awesome. Love it. Thank you so much. All right, so panels. Right now, once you learn how big the trailer is, right now, yeah, it's big. It's bigger than you expected. The rooftop. So we don't know exact dimensions. 29 feet, yeah. It's 29. Yeah, and then I don't know how wide. It's got to be bigger than 6.
It's probably around,
Okay. So,
maybe a little, it's probably like between 7 and 8.
oh, I didn't plug into your thing. Which one can I plug into? The 1 amp or the 2 amp? Thank you.
Yeah.
Charge. This stuff can get high dollar. Yes, it certainly can. Those pre-built systems, that's exactly why it's exactly why, yeah.
Most people, when they want to build or they want to have a lithium battery bank, but they don't really know much about what they're doing.
Yeah.
We'll jump on Amazon or whatnot. And
Like
find
me
a
before I
system.
thought about calling Rex.
Yeah, and find a system that sounds like it's great.
Mhm.
But there are drawbacks, and some of them can be pretty significant when you think about them because you don't have enough knowledge yet to understand why it's important. For instance, one that Jessica was looking at seemed reasonable.
It was an EcoFlow. The company brand was EcoFlow. Was huge. It's like $1,600.
60 pounds.
60 pounds. That would be
Pretty heavy.
60 pounds added to my trailer if it ever moves.
And
What's up, Justin Levy? Welcome to the stream.
And the downside of it though, is that you can only charge it with max 700 watts. That's not very much. That's
So that was why you said max 700 watts of solar or any kind of input, right? So what's up, David Miller? I see you there. Nice to meet you, Rex. That's David. Yeah. So okay. So I'm gonna. You suggested how much?
I think you need at least 2,000 watts. So,
Okay.
I would do everything possible to get minimum 2,000 watts of solar.
And I have the 2400 stuck in my head because that's what you said.
That's what I built. That's what I designed for my brother's camper. It's 32 foot, I believe. So a little extra room, basically. Just enough to add another 400 watts.
Okay. So you told me based upon the dimensions, what, like you said, there's fans on top of my trailer. There'll be an AC unit. There'll be, maybe like a little notch or something. Antenna. For it, yes. Yeah. So it depends on the dimensions, but what if an antenna would block? If I were to put a solar panel over that, that would block the signal.
Well, it would probably block this. Yeah, because there are basically there's strips of metal over top of it, and you do that over top of an antenna, it's not going to like it.
It's going to divert. It's going to divert it. Okay.
But what I would do is I would avoid covering it. And I would just make it so that it kind of popped up.
Oh, okay.
Anything you don't need.
Remove.
You don't need an antenna because you're not using it. You're not watching TV. normal
No,
TV station.
not.
I would just pull the antenna and I would talk.
Okay.
I would do.
All right, that's great advice.
Yeah.
I just wanted to welcome Francisco Javier. Hello, welcome back. Good to see you on the stream. You were coming in from Maryland or you're coming in from Florida? I think it's a relative of yours. Justin Levy says, I'm planning on building a smaller lithium iron or lithium phosphate kit DC only system for my ham radio, so amateur radio, and drone charging needs.
Oh, awesome. Yeah.
That's
totally
cool.
possible.
Totally possible.
Totally possible. And not
All right. Okay, cool. And I already have the panels from Goal Zero.
yeah.
That doesn't have too much added cost then, and they fold up super small.
That is the benefit of
However, it's like 100 watts.
well, however, for me, Goal Zero is number one. They I don't like it when any company makes a battery system with an inverter built in, and then they have these proprietary plugs, so you can't just buy any solar panel. You have to buy their solar panel
Brand.
price is like
Crazy.
3 or 4 times more expensive than it should be.
Not crazy, but yeah.
Only because there's different plugs on it. Mainly only because there's different plugs on it, because they're still having it made in China. Labor wise to build it.
They're just
it's
putting
not
the
really
brand on it. Yeah.
brand on it.
And it's like what Apple does. They
It's similar. I think Apple has a pretty good handle on their engineering to make things high quality.
yes.
But basically, with Goal Zero, if you wanted to, you could buy the plugs for a Goal Zero,
Mhm.
and then just specifically that can plug in for a solar panel for Goal Zero. And then you could buy a standard run-of-the-mill, say 250 watt solar panel, cut off the wire,
Run of the mill,
connectors.
like something.
just whatever. It
Okay.
doesn't have to be Goal Zero. It doesn't have to fold up whatever.
Okay.
And you could put your own connectors on there that you purchased. You could put them on that solar panel wires. Plug it to your Goal Zero.
Okay.
So if you're handy like that, or
Justin,
want to save a whole bunch of money,
I can see Justin here. Yeah, Justin, remind me again, you're a college student, aren't you? Like, I think he's in university, like he's young. Yeah,
great.
so he's,
Good timing.
yeah, great timing, right?
Yeah, totally. It's a reasonable choice. I would, however, if it's the lead acid version, be cautious to let it sit for too long. You know, I would make sure that it's used or gets charged within, 2 months, or the batteries end up taking a hit.
He's a senior in high school.
Wonderful.
That's awesome. Yeah,
Right.
you're a very bright future there. Yeah, so cool.
So the thing is, though, you can build a Goal Zero type system for easily less than half the cost. Easily less than half the cost. You could build it for, if you put the same amount of money into like a Yeti. What is it? A Yeti 2000 or whatever. Bigger one.
Blue Yeti? Is that like
I don't think it's Blue Yeti. It's
actually
Goal
Yeti?
Zero Yeti.
Okay.
And it's their big system. If you put the amount of money into building your own system, as in you bought the batteries, you bought an electric jacket, solar BMS, you bought an inverter, you bought the solar panels and the wiring and the connectors to put together, and you spend the same amount on those components, you're going to have a system that's at least twice as good. At least twice as good. As in, like, the amount of output is going to be twice as much. The amount of capacity, you can have twice as much capacity, energy density. Of course, it comes at the cost of more time and your labor, right?
Yeah.
But if this is something that you want to do anyways, and you're just curious about it, and it's not like a rush system, I would highly recommend it.
Yeah, he's on Twitter. So Justin, reach out to Rex. It's at ThinkFab is his handle. Reach out to him. And he's a great resource for this, obviously. I wanted to build my own, but my parents voted against that. I agree with 10,000% with you. And then Roxanne says add wind. So Roxanne, you brought up a really great point about wind earlier, about living near the ocean and using wind. And I mentioned it on the stream, but I didn't really know exactly. So I'm like, oh, I'm gonna maybe use a wind turbine or windmill or something to supplement the energy that is created or stored at nighttime or on cloudy days. And Rex has built one before.
Yeah. Well,
However,
I got a windmill kit.
okay.
It was very, very bare bones. Just the blades, bolts, pieces of steel that were cut out of
Okay.
cut out of the machine.
And you're a metal fabricator, so you're like, yeah, sure,
Yeah,
I could do this.
Exactly.
Okay.
It was given to me, so
Oh.
like, this is perfect. So I built a pole, I built all the cabling system. It's this big copy about 32 feet tall or something around there.
For Michigan, you built it in Michigan,
Built it in Lansing, Michigan.
Lansing, Michigan. Okay. It's your home turf.
And
So what were the upsides to it? What were the downsides?
the upsides were when it's windy, you sure can bring in a lot of power. It was 1,000-watt solar, or sorry, it was 1,000-watt wind turbine.
Wow.
Yeah,
That's a lot.
yeah.
Okay.
It was made from low winds.
Right.
So when it's windy, it works great. Actually, it worked so good after about a year, it worked too good. I didn't hook up a resistor to it. It's over 1,000 watts of input, and I burned the grid tie further up.
Whoops.
A piece that basically takes the power from the wind turbine and puts it into the grid.
Uh-huh.
And basically slow my meter down.
Ah.
So that was on. I didn't know at the
Right.
time.
You won't do it again now.
I won't do it again because my wind turbine doesn't work anymore.
There we go.
Well, the wind turbine spins, but I don't.
Yeah.
I have to get a new grid timer. Anyways,
Grid tie-in
inverter.
inverter. Grid tie-in inverter. So make sure I heard it properly. What were the downsides?
The downsides were
The scariest part.
It doesn't, the wind doesn't blow every day.
In Lansing, Michigan.
Yeah, if you happen to be in a place like, I don't know, like South Padre Island in Texas, you'd probably be fine.
Audio is difficult. Thank you, David. Maybe, yeah, I don't know. Okay, thank you for letting us know.
We're doing our best.
We're doing the best we can, yes.
So like, yeah, the downsides definitely being that when it's not windy, you're not bringing any power.
Okay. What about safety?
Safety wise, it can look a little like it's gonna blow up if it gets really windy.
Like blow up, meaning like it's gonna
Like
come
it's
off,
spinning so fast and
come off of its poles.
Sounds like there's a tornado.
A
next to
tornado.
it.
That's what I was thinking.
I mean, it's really noisy.
Okay, so it might
I-
lift
I-
up off the ground like a spaceship.
I shouldn't say it's really noisy, but if you went underneath of it, for instance,
You'd be
it's
like,
really,
whoa.
It's pretty noisy and scary.
Okay, and also,
So if it's above your trailer,
oh,
it's going to make a lot of noise.
and that would be interesting on live streams, wouldn't it? He would be like, like a turbine, like a jet engine. I didn't even think about that.
Not quite like a jet engine,
Right.
but it just makes a lot of, there's a lot of wind noise.
Okay, so it
Like
would.
if you're driving 150 miles an hour down the road.
Okay, so it would be really, really ideal in situations where, because Roxanne says these are so cool and work great on the waterfront, and she's right because there's a ton of wind.
Yeah.
But if you have the potential to have it far
You
away,
can have it away from
far away from your house or your
Like-
trailer or your
50 feet would be like great.
like minimum. If you
Probably
could.
minimum.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I
And
would.
different blade designs have different noise come off of them. Some of them are less efficient than others. Some of them just they
Yeah, we have
catch a lot of wind.
tornadoes, says Roxanne. Yes, I just saw a touchdown northeast of Corpus Christi, Corpus Christi, Texas tonight. I posted about it on Twitter. Audio better. What was the adjustment?
I think me turning my head.
Got it. Good to know. Thank you so much, David, for letting us know. Yeah, we're sharing a mic. It's right here on my shirt. So, not ideal. But if you saw Rex and I's first interview, which is hard to watch because the audio is so bad, my fault. This would be a serious outbreak. Tornadoes are fun. So yeah, high wind. You have to. There's the sound concern, but there's also the concern of it actually coming uprooted from the ground.
If you don't have a really durable pole to hold it up, you don't.
Could it fly off, like fly off the wheel? Is that where it comes from? Fly off the wheel?
I think the main thing is your pole would bend.
Okay.
If it was too windy and your pole is too high, and you have too much wind force, it could just bend
Just
it
bend.
over.
Like kind of what, well, not kind of what happens in hurricanes when a hurricane,
Just
the wind
shears.
just takes the tops of palm trees off, just gone.
Right.
Okay.
It seems windy on the ground, but it's not.
She says tie it down, LOL. So she's like kind of joking. Yes.
Yeah, it seems windy on the ground, but if you were up 30 feet in the air, the wind is like
Higher altitude.
is like twice that of what's on the ground. If you go up to 70 feet, I think it's about 4 times what it is on the ground.
And
It's
until you
easier.
get to that one threshold that Elon Musk says you just got to get high. That's how we make electric aircraft. You got to get high in the atmosphere, like above like 60,000 feet, 80,000 feet, where there's less resistance, like no resistance.
You want in a turbine, wind turbines.
You want
as much
Right.
air as possible. So
True. Good statement.
if you could put a wind turbine 300 feet up in the air, and you don't have to worry about it breaking something, you'd be in good shape.
Yeah.
It's very consistent at heights like that.
So I'm kind of a wind farm nerd. Indiana, when I lived there, I remember they were just I was living in Chicago, and if you drove in between Indiana and Indianapolis, where I'm from, Carmel, there was a wind farm called the Benton County Wind Farm. I think it's since been acquired probably by a power company, but I was so fascinated by the magnitude of the wind turbines. In Texas, they're everywhere. Those turbines, and correct me if I'm wrong, anybody that knows about this, those commercial turbines are programmed or set or managed to just shut down and stop at 25 miles per hour. I don't know how many knots that is of wind, but purposefully, so they don't damage, right? They're managed so that when the wind hits 25 miles per hour, does anybody know about knots? Can you do that conversion for me, anybody? 25 miles per hour to knots, or kilometers per hour would be helpful because we have an international audience. So in terms of a consumer or like a DIY wind turbine, you said that you didn't have any kind of management system on it, which is normal.
I didn't have a resistor.
A resistor. Okay, so is that what a resistor it does, or how would I stop it if it got?
I would just use a resistor.
Okay.
There are a couple different ways to do it, but essentially a resistor would be great, especially if your resistor is connected to your electric water heater. So anytime you're over RPM on your turbine, you're just preheating your water.
I'm a hot shower kind of person that also requires water, so that's a whole other thing that I need to figure out soon, sometime.
You can deep dive and get lost figuring this stuff out.
I love it. Okay, connected to, I love it. And then Roxanne says, are you building a spaceship with all this power to take your army to Mars? Yes, I am. That's heavy sarcasm, but not so much. That would be really great, wouldn't it?
After the ion process.
After, what's that?
It's an electronic, basically electric rocket.
All right. Oh, Roxanne, you're so sweet saying hi to everybody. I love it. Thank you. It's electric rocket engine?
So you know how the satellites move around in outer space?
It's solar
Well, the solar does
powered by,
So you have solar, battery,
and less, like almost no resistance in space.
and essentially zero resistance in space.
Yeah.
Essentially, sorry.
You're good. No, it's okay. I know it's really awkward. Like, lean into it.
It's essentially, there's no resistance in space. So an ion thruster temperature is what's called ion.
Okay.
Basically takes
Iron. it's just
Growing ions from what I understand.
from the solar power
The electric
version.
it's far beyond.
Okay,
I
understood.
don't know too much about that.
I would like to look into it though, so that's why I'm writing it down. You call it electric rocket engine. I love it.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Okay, so now the search. So with all of this knowledge, yeah, I bet they're cool. How many statutes of miles? Okay, let's see. Ion drives electric. There we go. Roxanne says a knot is 1.15. Does that say statute miles? One knot. I would have. Thank you. I would have to do that conversion. I don't know. So, anyhow, how many statute miles in a mile? I have no idea. Bonjour, Rex. Hello.
Hi.
Hi. So, bonjour. So, ion buster. Okay, so 2,400 watts of solar. If I could find panels in Texas. It's not even on. Time is passing. Isn't that crazy?
It's been like a 3 hour.
It's just crazy. Oh, hey, that is Roxanne. You are awesome. I love it. Okay. How many? The biggest solar panels, meaning the highest watts
Yeah.
of solar
You can easily
panels.
get 24.
Okay, easily.
But you're using sun power cells
Only.
only.
Like you want me to look
Exclusive.
only for sun power.
Correct. You need 23% efficient cells to get to that.
Okay, so sun power is the manufacturer.
Right.
That is made. Don't something like that, Tara?
Well, Aptera uses sun power cells.
Okay.
They're the most efficient. So in a situation where space is limited, like on a car or on a camper, to have an off-grid system, then you need to spend more money. It might cost 40% more than a normal panel. But it makes it possible.
Okay.
So it's like the difference between not being possible and being possible, or being possible but with lots of limitations.
Yeah.
Versus
Okay.
being possible.
Okay. So he went on Craigslist, found somebody who has got like a pallet of
A shipping.
shipping container. Wow.
Yes.
Panels.
That's what people do that sometimes. They buy a whole shipping container from someplace on
Like AliExpress or.
well, not AliExpress, because AliExpress is smaller amounts of items,
Oh.
but Alibaba.
Alibaba.
Alibaba
Okay.
is like, and you need to have a port to bring that in and all sorts of stuff. It's a little bit more complicated, a lot more complicated.
Right. But
So
they buy it at a full price
they
and
buy
they
it
can
at full
sell them
price.
5-panel or.
You might spend $50,000 for a container load of solar panels, and then they might sell those solar panels cheaper than anywhere else that you can find, and make 30 grand. You know?
Yeah, that's a pretty big deal. And thankfully, they're doing that for people like myself and other people and you, who are doing these do-it-yourself from scratch. Oh, yeah. I call it from scratch.
This is from scratch.
Okay.
This battery system will be from scratch.
Okay. So I want to look for sun power cells of panels, and that would be ideal because they are at most 23% efficient
And going up.
in going in.
So in the next 2 years, they should be nearing 25%.
Really?
Yeah. Well, Maxion's next line is well, actually, not their next line. They're just starting up the next line, but the line after
So Maxium
Maxion.
is that
They're
the manufacturer of the sun power panels?
SunPower. Just think of SunPower and Maxion. Basically the same company. They're not quite basically the same.
Maxium. Okay, so let's talk about this. So those panels that you found in Brownsville, I had 8 of them, right? How many was it? It was 335. You have a calculator in your watch. Can you show them?
What? Nobody's seen it?
Just, they're not going to be able to hear you, but if you show them. Okay, so Rex is showing you right now. He's got a watch with a calculator on it.
Yeah.
Those little buttons are a calculator.
Casio.
It's
stuff.
Like if you want to know the level of nerdism, there you go. I've never seen that
I don't
before
know.
in my life besides an Apple Watch. I've seen that digitally. Anyways, okay. So let's talk
It's
about
for back.
2,400 watts. How many panels? How can we divide this up? And that would be minimum, if you don't use the sun power panels, or just do like an average Joe, whatever panels, okay, Jenko or Goal Zero or whatever, that would be 19% efficiency or something. But this is consistent. We're not talking about consistent power, so this is where it's all.
Like the panels on my trailer, I believe are around 14.
Oh,
They're older.
okay.
And they were free.
Oh, done. Okay, that's all you had to say. Okay.
I mean, how am I going to complain about that?
Yeah.
This is a
Can I
prototype.
borrow one of these? Okay. Yeah.
It's a prototype. It's like it's more of a concept. Solar panels.
And when he says solar trailer, I have learned has solar panels on it, and it powers his portable welding station.
Charges my battery.
Charges his battery.
It charges my batteries. That's good.
Okay, so it charges the battery that he can use remotely.
Remotely. This is the off-grid situation I was talking about. This trailer was
Mhm.
and I also had 1,400 watts of solar at that time.
At that time.
So it's really critical to have a lot of solar all day.
Who's calling Roxanne old? She's like the youngest grandmother I have ever met digitally. Okay, so no, she's not old. She's had to have one. Okay, we're talking Casio. Love the science power for Apollo. 30 amps. I'm going to make a Starship out of foil and paper towel cardboard just for fun. I love it. Yes, in Roxanne, it's very exciting what Starship is going to do. I haven't been keeping up with all of the stuff that's happening. I know the orbital launch platform is getting taller every day. Discussions of Starship SN16 going orbital is in the works. Maybe Rex suggested, well, yeah, the whole water tower thing. Gotta get that to Elon. Anyways, I'm gonna keep that sacred. And yeah, so I will be down there before then, 21 days, if that's when it actually goes. You don't know about that. Then yeah. Whatever. Roxanne, stop calling yourself old. Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Okay, so 2,400 watts. Let's divide that by.
Well, here's the thing.
Oh gosh.
We're talking solar panels from SunPower.
I haven't seen any SunPower panels like this when I Google for 300 watt panels or whatever.
You have to get on SunPower's website.
Oh, so we're talking expensive.
That's what I'm saying. Very expensive.
Okay.
That's why I say more likely what you'll find that fits the budget is going to be around 19 to 20%.
Okay.
Yeah.
Directly from
I
SunPower.
wouldn't even bother with 23%.
Okay.
Just go with what you can get, or you're going to spend it probably twice as much.
She started with block on my TV. Okay, twice as much. And I love where your brain's up though, because if I had that amount of money in capital or funding, whatever, to buy the best and most efficient panel that you know of, right? I would do that.
It's
Easily accessible, and I'm sure to order it, right? And is it probably time or ship it? I don't know.
I have no idea. Maybe something where you have to have it smaller.
Oh, okay.
Unless you go with the thin panels.
The ones that are flexible.
Yeah, they're about the thickness of the nickel.
Yeah.
Those you can probably just get shipped.
Okay. But those are also more pricey than a typical.
Those are very
Yeah. They're very lightweight. They're flexible. You can mount them on the side of a curved surface, but it's also
those are like $40 per watt.
okay.
And what we're looking for is 30 cents a watt.
Love it.
Big difference.
This is helpful. Okay, and then directly from SunPower's website. Okay, so let's go with 19% efficient panels. Is that brainwash. Okay. I love it. I love it. She had fun riding around in the Mayflower. That's how old Roxanne is. She's saying, Roxanne. I have no idea. Pinta or the Nina. I don't know. Roxanne, let us know. Let's see. Okay, let's not talk about that B word in the chat, please, David Miller. See the B word? Right here.
Oh yeah, that's not good.
Let's not talk about anything that is related to fireworks or
Like it's a couple.
yeah.
Trouble for something that we don't need to get.
Exactly. Let's keep that out of the chat, please, and thank you. Although your commentary is great, just maybe not about that topic. And when I say maybe, I mean please not about that topic. Okay, continuing on.
Yeah.
So
This is the solar, as far as solar goes on a camper or on our, we're going to be shooting from the hip.
huh,
Because at this moment in time,
shooting from the hip means what?
we don't know.
We're just kind of guessing.
We don't know where we're going to be as far as size, dimensions, and stuff like that goes. We don't know that yet. We just don't have those dimensions. It's like knowing how many kilowatt hours we require per day. If you don't have a way to figure that out,
Right. You don't.
then it's like
Not.
shoot from the hip. I have no
Okay.
idea. No idea.
Google is totally creepy. That's right. That is. Yeah. So and YouTube is owned by Google. So if Google's listening, just remember, if you want to know if you think there's a God, Google is first. Google is listening. Alexa's listening. Google's listening. They're all both listening. Oh, sorry. It's okay, David. I just wanted to let you know that came up earlier, and yeah, would be fun and scary. Try carrying. Oh gosh. Okay. They will let me go as I am old to Mars. Roxanne, you deserve it, girl. You deserve to go to Mars.
That would be wild.
Would you go?
Would I go? No.
Okay. I would. Tell me why. It's no judgment.
Why? I'll tell you why I would go.
Yeah.
Because I feel like I have more value on this planet.
That's a great answer. There we go.
Yeah, some people are awesome at discovery and building new infrastructure.
Yeah. Speaking of Mars, yes, right. It's just not for everybody. Like for me, I'm like, well, I think it'd be an adventure, but like Elon says, people are gonna die. People are gonna die. It's not gonna be fun. It's gonna be a challenge. It's gonna be a challenge every single day, every hour, every minute.
All the time. Mentally challenging and everything.
Yes.
Going to
Physically challenging.
different amount of daylight hours per day.
Yeah.
You're gonna need a new watch.
Is Europe waking up right now? We've got Niall Anderson in the chat. We've got the Lorax. Niall's coming in from the UK, and Niall's a moderator. We've got the Lorax coming in as a moderator, and this is our correspondent who's on Mars already. So he calls us Earthlings. That's why it says greetings from Mars, Earthlings. Our Mars correspondent. Welcome.
Lorax.
Yes.
I had a friend of mine make me a little new thing. And it was me driving my first generation Honda Insight.
Okay.
And it was captioned Lorax because it was on air suspension.
That's funny.
I'm like sticking out the side.
That's funny.
Anyways.
Love it. Okay, so let's do this breakdown of 2,400 watts, 19% efficiency, because let's be honest, I can't afford right now to pay 3 to 4 times the cost for the best solar panel products out there at this time.
I wouldn't even recommend it.
Okay.
It's not worth it right now.
Yeah, you are I mutated into a moderator. Yes, they haven't told you yet. You're a moderator. Welcome. Thank you for showing up. Yes. I thought I had sent a message, but got out of the way. So anyways.
Yeah.
And Roxanne, I think that is going to become the next moderator. So any of those moderators, if you could type that in the mod chat right now, that I need to add Roxanne. That would be great. Thank you very much. Love you all so much. Thaddeus says Santa designed the Google algorithm. Oh, I love it. Lorax fixed the thing. So what were we talking about? Solar, 2,400 watts. So let's divide that up on panels. How many panels am I going to need?
We don't know.
Okay, continuing on. We don't know.
We don't know. That's about as far as we can figure at the moment, because we have to figure out what are the dimensions of the panels that you're going to get. We got to figure out.
What if we were to just, okay,
Can you get?
okay. That was a stop, like putting a roadblock, a shunt, if you will. Let's talk about if I were to not mount them on the trailer, okay? Let's just pretend.
Sure.
They're going to be in my yard.
Sure.
Let's talk about that.
Yeah.
I wanted 2,400 watts in the yard.
Yeah.
And my yard is 10 by 10. I don't know.
Yeah.
Let's get there. Okay, so is there a typical dimension for example, what are some common watt amounts of solar panels? 100.
315.
Okay, so let's start with the lower ones, like the ones that I would find on Amazon.
Yeah.
I've seen 60.
Yeah, I would go 100 and lowest would be the smallest.
Okay, right.
That's a nice size, easy to maneuver and move around and lift up and stuff like that. They're pretty light.
Yes.
But you don't want a whole bunch of connections if you can avoid it, because then it just adds in expense.
Yes. Okay, so 100 watt would be, okay, so that's just a common panel. So we have a 100 watt panel. What's the next step?
Probably 150 watt,
150 watt.
200, 250.
Wait, keep going. 200 and 250. Okay.
And then I think it goes, it can scale 5 watts at a time, basically.
Okay. All right.
It all depends on how many cells fit, how old the cells are, what the efficiency of the cells are.
Okay.
Lots of factors.
Okay, so I'm just gonna go ahead and say, okay, so it can scale up. You can go 5 watts at a time. So the next, let's just go to 300.
Sure.
So I haven't seen a 275 watt panels anywhere. Is that common, uncommon? I haven't looked.
Probably not very common.
So I'm gonna just go to 300 watts,
Yeah.
and then 325 or 330?
315,
315.
325, like at that point.
And this is like
These are becoming the newer panels. The panels that are over about 315 watts.
Okay.
Seem to be pretty.
I've seen a 400 watt somewhere.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm sure it's huge. Oh, it was on. It was on.
Over 100 pounds.
Oh, really? That doesn't sound like that much, though.
It's probably.
My Pelican case weighs
close, I should say.
66 pounds when it is partially full.
100 pounds is a lot by yourself.
Yeah, but I'm gonna have help. There'll be people. What's up, Joel? We've got another mod in the chat. God bless you both. What's up, Joel Redmond? He's coming in from Michigan.
Congratulations.
Rex is from
Hold it down
Lansing.
for me, please.
Joel, you were in AM something. Tell us again. Up by Lake Erie?
Lake Erie is
Up by one of the
towards
lakes.
New York.
Okay.
There's Huron, Superior,
One of those lakes.
Michigan.
He worked for a ferry. For,
Probably Huron though.
Okay,
It's like
there we go.
back up.
Algonac. On the hand,
I
Joel.
don't even know.
On the hand, Joel. Which part of the hand?
That sounds like a place that I have not been.
Right. You keep up the spelling, just go later. Bye, Roxanne. Grandma's bedtime. Bye, Roxanne. We love you. I love you. I love you. We all love you. The moderators love you. Thank you for joining. He has no idea. Yeah, I don't know. Okay, so yeah, we are just kind of now he's mentioned 100 watts. We're gonna wrap this stream because I know that I'm tired. I'm sure you're tired. This has been a long stream. Thanks everybody for hanging. 100 watts, 150 watts, 200 watts, 250 watts, 300 watts, 315, 325, and 400 max, which he says is super heavy and would be for maneuver. I want to add up to 2,400 minimum, even though he says 2,000, I'm gonna go 24.
Well, if we can.
Yeah.
You can hang panels off the back, but if you back it up into something and then smash,
Done.
that's rough.
What happens if hail smashes them?
Not gonna work.
Why? There's a lot of hail in Texas.
There might be a lot of hail in Texas, but is the hail over 4 inch?
No.
Then it doesn't matter.
Okay. 4 inches is like a softball?
Yeah.
Yeah, we're good.
It's like 4 inch at 70 miles an hour or something along those lines is what the they can handle a pretty hard hit.
Okay, cool. All right. So if it cracks, you back it into something and it cracks, is it lose all efficiency? Does it damage everything just a little bit or a lot, depending on the size of the crack, obviously?
If there's a crack, you probably don't have anything to clear off that way.
Oh, I hope so.
No.
I want to go puddle something. Okay, I will get back to you with what I find. You know, whenever I find something, I send it over to him, and he basically analyzes whether or not he thinks it'll be a good fit for my situation, which is totally awesome. Thank you for doing this. Thank you from the kindness of his heart.
Let's get more people asking me how to do something on solar.
Yeah. Yeah. So, okay. Yes. Okay. So, any questions? I see right there. So, real quick before we end, Rex well, he's got a lot of missions, but one thing that he's got the solar trailer that provides power. He wants to eventually, with your solar powered car,
Yeah,
with the trailer.
yeah. Well, I want to do a lot of things.
Right.
I think what would be great is to be able to have a trailer
NHL.
that you can connect to a car and not actually feel like you have a trailer connected to your car. Like, as in, you have an EV and you're pulling a trailer shouldn't make a dent in your mileage. So that's.
You want it to offset the electric power that the car is utilizing, or make it like neutral, or.
Yeah, essentially, at the end of the day, what I want is a trailer that doesn't have an effect on your car battery.
Okay.
So if you have a 400-mile range, you should be able to put your car, connect the trailer to your car, and drive 400 miles before the battery's dead. And the trailer will make it so.
Hey, David Miller, don't beat yourself up. It's okay. It's totally fine. Much love. See you next time. Charlie's here. Don't stop yourself. Yeah. Charlie's always coming in with the don't do, thank you. Good night, everybody. So, yeah, that is something that you have a passion for. And I would take them outside right now. Your car's still parked out front.
It's on the side. It's too dark, though.
And it's also away from Wi-Fi, and I'm throttled, so I can't get up the tab.
It's okay.
All right, lots of sunflowers coming in. I love it. I love it.
Maybe sometime.
All right, Rex, where can people find you? Final time. Where can people find you? How can they contact you? What are you open to? Questions, all that stuff.
I'll just write it down.
Perfect. Thank you, everybody, so much for hanging out. There's a lot of knowledge here. Thanks for allowing me to bonk it back and forth so that you can understand it on just a level. This is Rex's Twitter handle at ThinkFab. T as in Tom, H as in Hector, I as in Igloo, N as in Nancy, K as in Kirsh, F as in Fabricator, A as in Airplane, B as in Boy. ThinkFab on Twitter, Rex Litwiller, Aptera Ambassador, DIY Battery Builder, electricity guru, self-taught, all self-taught. So, and I want to give a shout out, lover of pixies. Pixies are electricity or electrical whatever's inside of here. And then I want to give one final shout out to the generous donator of these 8 cells of lithium iron phosphate batteries, not lithium ion. Oh no, they're not batteries, they're cells. They're cells.
We're learning a whole bunch.
But I feel like I understand it about 30% more, 40% more. So
That's not rap.
yeah, and Niall's saying, I'm glad to catch you. David says, grow this channel. Yes, David. I saw you comment on the plaid stream about how few people were on the screen. There's 8 billion people in the world. It's like I'm here with 20 people. What? So yeah, like it, Share it though. Just share it out, guys, gals, non-binary, share it out. Let's see, retweet, tweet, whatever. That's the best way to get it out there. Most people don't know it exists. So there we go. Rex equals think fabulous. All right, good one. All right, everybody. So long. Post any comments, questions you have below. Also reach out to Rex. And thanks for listening. Thanks for all of this information. Okay. Go up and up next. Oh God, I'm getting old. Hold on, everybody. Wait for it. Bye, everybody. At 11%, I'm saying bye to YouTube, Facebook, my official Jessica Kirsh official page, Jessica Kirsh personal page on Facebook. Did I already say Twitch? Twitch, Periscope, which is also Twitter, I believe, and LinkedIn. Love you all. Thanks for listening. See you on the next streamy stream.